Now, while I don't think that Andrew McCabe is someone who gives CNN a lot of credibility, I do think it is worth listening to this from him.
The indictment is very serious, and it stands out to me from the recent investigations that we have seen of the poor storage, unauthorized storage of classified information. Most notably, the investigation of Vice President Pence and the investigation of Vice President Biden. In both of those cases, what prosecutors lacked was any indication, any evidence of intent to hold that material in an unauthorized place. And there's a lot of circumstances that support those findings. In this case, the opposite seems to be true. At least the allegations are that Mr. Bolton was frequently taking essentially his summaries of his day's work, much of which was classified material, and he, from his position, was certainly in a position to know that the substance of that material was classified, and sending it to person one and person two over unauthorized systems, open email systems like AOL and Google, things like that. So that allegation alone imparts a great deal of intent. It's going to be hard for Mr. Bolton to argue that those transmissions were inadvertent or that he didn't know that he was mishandling classified or national defense information. So that alone elevates the seriousness of this case and the strength of the prosecution far beyond anything we've seen recently in the instances of Vice President Pence and President Biden.
Yes, or Donald Trump, for that matter, you should note. More than Donald Trump as well. It's a serious allegation, and I'm a John Bolton fan, but it's a real problem. One more here. This is Jonathan Turley this morning on Fox News with Lawrence Jones.
Well, Lawrence, those clips, I can tell you as a criminal defense attorney, probably rule out his ever being put on the stand because while the court might not allow those to be admitted initially, they very well could be admitted to impeach him or rebut him. And I don't think he can take the risk because he looks like an utter hypocrite. I mean, this indictment really shows a level of casual treatment of intelligence information that's quite shocking. He comes across like a teenager in a chat room. I mean, he's sending this stuff by email after all the controversies that we have had for years about trying to secure this type of information. And Lawrence, there's two arguments here that will not work. One is, well, this is just old classified material. That doesn't fly. I mean, if the question is it classified or not? That's why jurors tend to view these as rather cut and dry questions. The other argument, which sort of was suggested by his counsel, is, well, everyone does this. This is just keeping a diary. That's not going to work either.
No.
Whether you transmit the document or the contents, it's classified and it's subject to these criminal laws.
Yes, and you will remember that John Bolton blasted Donald Trump for his handling of classified information. The opening of that clip, and there was no reason to rehash those clips of Bolton going after Trump, but John Bolton suggested that Donald Trump engaged in criminal activity just by having the classified documents at Mar-a-Lago. John Bolton was sending the classified documents over AOL. Is this not the most boomer thing ever? The stash is sending his classified information over his AOL account. You know, and I know he was typing with just his index fingers, banging away at the keyboard with two fingers. You know, it's a boomer move. No offense to you boomers, but I suspect the keyboard had blue hair. Good gracious, this is just, I'm sorry, I don't mean to make light of it. It's serious, but you just understand that John Bolton is old now. He was old at the time. He's sending the document, and it probably was just to his family based on what we can gather from the indictment. Hey, kids, look at this cool thing I'm working on today. Here are the missile plans. Hey, kids. And now he could go to prison for this. He was on television blasting Donald Trump for his handling of stuff. And by the way, I should note, it appears Donald Trump had no knowledge of the details. And in fact, I must reiterate, and it's very important to reiterate this point, when your friends at the No Kings protest complain about Donald Trump indicting his critic, John Bolton, you've got to point out to them, actually, Joe Biden began the investigation. This is Donald Trump.
John Bolton was just indicted by a grand jury in Maryland. Do you have a reaction to that?
I didn't know that. You tell me for the first time, but I think he's, a bad person. I think he's a bad guy. Yeah, he's a bad guy. It's too bad, but that's the way it goes.
The case against him?
That's the way it goes, right? That's the way it goes. Will I what?
Have you reviewed the case against him?
No, I haven't. But I just think he's a bad person.
Yeah, because he came after you. Yeah, but look, the president had no involvement in this. The president didn't know. This was started by the Biden team, and it actually is very serious. And here's what you all kind of understand intuitively. There are people of prominence in Washington, D.C. on the left and the right who get a little cavalier. They are set in their ways. They are prominent. They get the TV gigs. They're known about town. And they don't operate the way you and I operate. They begin to think over time the rules don't really apply to them, or it's okay, I'm a smart guy, I've got it. And that is seemingly what happened in John Bolton's case. On his AOL email account, decided to let the world know that he had classified documents, literally, because his email account was hacked, and he knew it was hacked and was sending information. That is a very serious allegation that was started not by the Trump administration, but by the Biden administration. And the Department of Justice appears to have the receipts to show just how serious it is. And it is a very serious matter, and we should not be dismissive of it. We should not jump to the conclusion that this was a partisan witch hunt by Donald Trump against his enemies, because it was started by the Biden administration. And we know that John Bolton's email account was hacked by the Iranians, and we now know the nature of the documents that he was sending. It doesn't matter that everyone else does this. It's like the mortgage loan stuff, the Letitia James and the Lisa Cook and all this stuff. It's like, oh, we can't prosecute this. Everybody does it. It's the same thing we're hearing now. Why is there a class of stuff that the good, wealthy boomers of D.C. do that we can't prosecute because everybody does it? I don't send classified information through my email, and I don't take out two separate loans, both of them listing as primary residence. Do you do that? I bet you don't do that. This whole idea that, oh, everybody does it, we shouldn't prosecute it, everybody's going to go to jail. I'm not, and you're not.
Have something to say? Hello. Call the show. 1-877-97-ERIC. That's 1-877-973-7425.
Better news on the West Connector. 1220 in the Cool Ray Carrier 24-hour traffic center on that West Expressway. Crash just cleared to the right shoulder. I-20 eastbound at Joseph Lowry Boulevard. Still seeing some minor delays, but no need for an alternate. 75 southbound at Central Avenue. Also, police are working a crash in the Gore. No need for an alternate if you're trying to make your way towards the airport. This report is sponsored by John Foy and Associates Personal Injury Law Firm. If you've been in a serious crash, don't let the insurance companies rip you off. Call John Foy and Associates and get the real help you need and deserve. Get real. Get John Foy, the strong arm today. I'm Chinwe Maponya Cook, 95.5 WSB.
WSB is your home of the Dogs.
He's bootlegging, he's running to the end zone.
Tune in tomorrow as 9th-ranked Georgia hosts number 4 Ole Miss.
10-5 corner pylon.
Pregame begins at 11:30. Kickoff at 3:30.
Touchdown! Dogs may have just sealed it at 19-10 with 1:53 to go.
Only on your home of the Dogs, 95.5 WSB. Brought to you in part by Hoffman Financial Group, official partner of the Georgia Bulldogs.
It's the Love Your Home Minute from TE Certified. Hi, it's Chris Chandler with Josh, the local owner of TE Certified Electrical Plumbing, Heating, and Cooling. You know him. That's him you see jumping out of the back of their trucks. Josh, what should I be doing to love my home right now?
Seasonal HVAC maintenance.
About that time.
Absolutely. Our HVAC systems work hard for us all year round, and every once in a while we need to show them a little love too. So we need to come out, change your filters, clean the drain line, check all the electrical and gas connections, check the refrigerant, and make sure the settings are in tip-top shape shape for this season. This is going to make you more comfortable in your home. This is going to help you save energy, and of course, it's going to keep you from having any of those bad breakdowns that happen at the worst time.
So it keeps you comfy for sure. What are some of the other benefits of the seasonal maintenance?
Well, absolutely, it's going to save money because an efficient system is going to use less energy as it runs.
All right, excellent, Josh. I am so glad I had TE maintain my system. It certainly helped me love my home.
TE certified, we love your home.
Tomorrow. What might happen tomorrow? For many of us, it's very easy to spend way too much time speculating and worrying about the future. The Bible wisely guides us to never brag about how tomorrow will go and to never worry about it either. We need to trust tomorrow to God and stay fully focused on honoring Him with our lives today. This is Tom Gray, thanking Hardy Chevrolet GMC for their support.
We love you and we need you.
ThisStuffMatters.net.
Hey folks, Dave Baker here with a quick tip. When it comes to garage doors, longevity matters. Overhead Door Company of Atlanta has been serving Atlanta homeowners since 1935. That's 90 years of doing it right, day after day, door after door. Sure, new companies pop up claiming to be number one, but for real trust and experience, there's only one original overhead door, the one with the red ribbon on the trucks. Longevity matters. Quality matters. Call 404-USA-DOOR or visit overheaddooratlanta.com.
Save money by getting pre-approved for your next auto loan at Coosa Valley Credit Union. We offer the most competitive interest rates in the market, as low as 3.49 APR when you open an account with direct deposit. This is Andy Harris, president of Coosa Valley Credit Union, inviting you to stop in a branch near you. You'll experience kinder banking with real people, not automation. Plus, with 11 locations in Northwest Georgia, we're always local and nearby.
Contact 706-235-8551 for more details. Equal Opportunity Lender.
This is Scott Slade, updating my health story. I get a checkup every year, and last September, my primary care physician was troubled by a suspicious number on my lab work. Well, that led to a diagnosis early enough to give me options, and I'm more optimistic than ever about a good outcome. Now, when we're talking about our health, level with your providers if you think you have a problem. We all need expert eyes looking us over every so often. That's where virtual imaging can be invaluable. Virtual Imaging's LDCT body scan can give you time and options for early treatment, especially for cancer. They can detect tumors as early as precancerous virtually anywhere in your body, and aneurysms you may not even know are there. For a limited time, Virtual Imaging is extending their core body scan offer for only $995 per scan. That's a $2,495 value. Early detection saves lives, and now it's more affordable than ever. Virtual Imaging has gotten such great response, they've opened up more times in both offices. But appointments will fill up fast for this offer, so don't wait. Some minimum requirements may apply. Early detection is your best protection. To schedule your virtual imaging $995 core body scan, call 770-678-SCAN. That's 770-678-SCAN. Or make an appointment by visiting their website at virtualimagingatl.com. That's virtualimagingatl.com. Do it now while you still have options.
Your non-stop news source, 95.5 WSB, Atlanta's News and Talk. On the go, take Eric's podcasts with you. Available wherever you stream your favorite podcast. Search Eric Erickson.
Hello and welcome. It is Eric Erickson across the United States. The phone number is 877-973-7425. That's out of habit because you can't call in. So I had a great time last night at an event for This Stuff Matters. You hear their radio bits on my live stream, and got home late last night. Stayed up late working, and slept in this morning. My wife, she's been out of the gym for the last couple of months, and finally went back on Monday, and we suspect probably pushed herself too hard, and was not feeling great yesterday. Went to the doctor. Her liver enzymes were very, very high, so she has gone to the hospital, and they are giving her fluids, and I'm keeping my text messaging app open in case she has to text me. And I will keep you guys posted. Prayers appreciated. We're not really worried, but Just she's got to get that under control. So hoping the fluids will do it. When we come back, the shutdown continues, and for a while there, it was the Republicans who were getting the blame for the shutdown. And the Democrats, remember, Chuck Schumer said, every day is better and better for us. Well, now the data suggests that's not the case. The data actually suggests the voters are turning on the Democrats as Republicans keep voting to open the government. The president's approval is up. John Thune's approval is up. And the Democratic approval is going down, and there's lots to suggest they're in over their head at this point. We'll get to it. First, I got to tell you about the Eden Pure Thunderstorm. You can get 3 of them for less than $200. You save $200. You go to EdenPureDeals.com. You put in the discount code ERIC3, ERICK3. The Eden Pure Thunderstorm is an air purifier, so it gets rid of dust, pollen. It gets rid of pet dander in the air. It kills 99.9% of bacteria and viruses that are pulled through the air purifier because it generates plasma. But it also generates ozone that goes out into the atmosphere of your home, touches the ionized particles you and I know as odors, and eliminates them. No odor can stand up to it because the ozone goes where the odor goes, and it wipes them out. And they're small. You can put one in your travel bag. I keep one in my travel bag, and they just work. So you go to EdenPureDeals.com, put in the discount code ERIC3. You get 3 of them for upstairs, for downstairs, for your basement, for your travel bag, for your RV, wherever you need them. You plug them in when it's stinky air. That's how I use them. When the stinky air goes away, you unplug them, you put them up, you save them for another day. I've used them in rental cars to get smoke out of rental cars. I've used them in my kitchen to get rid of the fry odor. I've used them in hotel rooms when someone smoked, and they just work. EdenPureDeals.com, the discount code ERIC3, ERICK3. When we come back, we got to get into the shutdown politics of the day. There appears to be no progress. Marjorie Taylor Greene, yet again, siding with the Democrats overnight.
Everyone has an opinion.
I've had some great Mondays. I'm having a good Monday right now. Look, it's beautiful outside.
Got that
nice loud shirt.
Eric Von Hessler has an
It's
opinion.
a citrusy, summery, I think breezy kind of shirt.
And some advice.
But just remember this.
Eric Von Hessler, today at 3.
I never have and never will smoke a cigar.
95.5 WSB, Atlanta's News and Talk. Live from the Superior Plumbing Studios.
News,
weather,
traffic. 95.5 WSB.
Atlanta's News and Talk.
It is 12:30. Good afternoon. I'm Sabrina Cupid. This news sponsored by Jim Ellis Automotive. New this afternoon, Clayton County Police say a 6-month-old baby whose body was found this week died of blunt force trauma. And we have learned this from Clayton County Police Detective Cheyenne Reynolds.
He was found discarded in a trash bag.
In a trash bag. The new information coming as the parents of baby Nakai Pratt appeared in a Clayton County courtroom today. Antonio Pierce is charged with malice murder. The baby's mother, Nicolette Pratt, is accused of helping to cover up the crime. Both have had their bond denied. Your weather for today, sunny skies, staying mild with a high around 80, says WSB meteorologist Christina Edwards. She'll have Atlanta's most accurate and dependable forecast straight ahead. DNA from a discarded cup links a Conyers man to nearly half a dozen rapes in New York from the 1990s. The Queens District Attorney's Office says 57-year-old Michael Benjamin facing a list of charges for the assaults between the years of 1995 and 1997. He was extradited to New York to face charges he could be facing up to 25 years in prison. Seatbelts and rear view cameras are at the center of 2 new recalls from Ford. The seatbelt issue impacting 332,000 Mustangs. Dealers will inspect the parts and make replacements. Ford also recalling 292,000 Super Duty pickup trucks. They have an issue with the rear camera. They may not show a proper image. No word of any crashes or injuries related to either of those recalls. And we have an update on those drive-through flu clinics we told you about up in the northern part of the metro area. According to the North Georgia Health District, hundreds of people took advantage of the opportunity to drive through and get a vaccine. It happened in places like Cherokee, Fannin, and Gilmore counties. Shots are still available, they say, at your local health department. The CDC estimates that about 1 million people were hospitalized with flu last year, and there were up to 130,000 flu deaths. They think that this year will be much like last year's flu season. It's 12:32.
The foods we eat can be downright bad for our health. This is Sue from Bread Beckers with Sue's Healthy Minute. I have a degree in food science, and for more than 30 years, I've been teaching the truth about real bread. Not the stuff you buy at the store. I'm talking real bread made with freshly milled flour. When you buy bread from the store, take a look at the ingredients. Enriched flour means that the nutritious bran and germ has been removed to improve the shelf life. Then a few B vitamins and iron are added back to replace the multitude of nutrients lost. That's not enrichment in my book. And today, that label may even read contains bioengineered food ingredients. Food should never be bioengineered. At Bread Beckers in Woodstock, we can teach you how to make real bread loaded with fiber and nutrients. A delicious, healthy, affordable solution that can improve your health and change your life. Visit breadbeckers.com or our Bread Beckers store in Woodstock.
Hi, I'm David Nicholas, financial advisor and president of Nicholas Wealth Management. But most importantly, I'm a husband and a father. The three most important things in my life are faith, family, and freedom. Unfortunately, I think we're facing threats to all three. The yahoos in Washington want to erode our wealth by inflation, regulation, and out-of-control spending. Deficits, robbed Social Security, and inflation have devalued our dollar and made raising a family nearly impossible. And frankly, I'm sick and tired of it. The federal government is 40% bigger today than it was before COVID. I think that means taxes are going higher. Don't let higher taxes devastate your retirement accounts. At Nicholas Wealth, we have CPAs and CFPs that can show you how to shelter your retirement accounts from higher taxes. Our Retire Ready tax analysis is a $1,000 value, but we'll provide it completely complimentary for callers who have saved more than $250,000 for retirement and give us a call in the next 10 minutes. The number to call is 404-890-5606. That's 404-890-5606, or you can go to nicholaswealth.com.
Nicholas Wealth is an independent financial services firm that uses a variety of different investment strategies. This is prepared for informational purposes only. It does not address specific investment objectives or the financial situation and the needs of any person. This is a paid advertisement.
All right, live team coverage of traffic and weather. We start in the 24-hour traffic center.
Right now, we're watching waves of volume coming out of Duluth, I-85 southbound. You're going to be sluggish right around Pleasant Hill Road, and then the brakes pick up again around Jimmy Carter Boulevard, exit 99. And better news over in Tucker, that road work has cleared on 78 westbound at 285. You've regained the right lane. I'm Chinwe Maponya Cook, 95.5 WSB.
I'm WSB meteorologist Christina Edwards. Partly cloudy skies today with a high near 80. Lows tonight in the upper 50s to low 60s.
More news at 1 o'clock. Breaking news when it happens. I'm Sabrina Cupid, 95.5 WSB.
He's got the courage to tell you the truth, because the truth is what matters. You're listening to The Eric Erickson Show.
Hello, welcome. It is Eric Erickson here across the United States. Happy to have you with me. The phone number, 877-973-7425. If you want to be on the program, it's kind of weird that we are in a government shutdown and nothing feels shut down. We are another day. It's now, the 17th day of the government shutdown. It's like my marriage. I got married in the year 2000, so since it's 2025, I know I've now been married 25 years. The government shutdown happened October 1st, so I know it's October 17th. We've been shut down for 17 days. They've even taken the shutdown ticker off CNN at this point. Nobody feels like we're in a shutdown, and this is very important for you to understand. This is this is the most important thing you'll probably learn on the show today. You should listen to the whole thing, but this is your most important thing of the day. If the shutdown were helping Democrats, there would be wall-to-wall media coverage of it. That there is not wall-to-wall media coverage of the shutdown 17 days in means it's not helping the Democrats. CNN has taken its shutdown ticker off. MSNBC is on to other things. Fox News is one of the very few covering it, which tells you everything you need to know. It's not helping the Democrats at this point. The polling when the shutdown started showed the public blaming Republicans. As the shutdown has progressed, it's now tied as to who is to blame, which means the trajectory is against the Democrats. It's understandable that the public's first thought of government shutdown is the Republicans did it, because every government shutdown in my lifetime has been caused by the Republicans until this one. And the Democrats don't want to get blamed for the shutdown, so they're not really taking credit. Privately, through progressive channels, they're trying to signal this is a fight. But publicly on television, they're not trying to take credit for it at all because they know they'll get blamed. And yet, as the Republicans keep saying, we're voting to open the government. The Democrats aren't. And the Democrats have to say, well, the Republicans control the House and the Senate, so they can reopen if they want to by changing the rules of the Senate, which is not as clean as saying, they could do it. Except you have the Republicans out saying, we're voting for it. The Democrats are blocking us. It's not an easy message for the Democrats to do. This is the president talking about Chuck Schumer on TV.
Mr. President, do you think that the government shutdown is all about this rally that's happening this weekend, the No Kings rally?
No, I mean, some people say they want to delay it for the king. This is
more
not a
than
king. You know, they're referring to me as a king. I'm not a king.
Right. No, but just so that Chuck Schumer could go and say, I'm fighting Trump.
Yeah, well, Chuck is, at the end of the line. He's being beaten by everybody that they poll against him. And, what he did is he did the right thing a couple of years ago on something like this. And he got hurt by his party. And it doesn't, I don't think it matters to him. I think he's just so dead that he'll do anything. I think they could just stay out forever. I mean, to be honest with you. Now, what we're doing is we're cutting Democrat programs that we didn't want because, they made one mistake. They didn't realize that gives me the right to cut programs that Republicans never wanted. Giveaways, welfare programs, etc. And we're doing that, and we're cutting them permanently. We're cutting a $20 billion project that Schumer fought for 15 years to get, and I'm cutting the project. The project is going to be dead. It's pretty much dead right now.
Look, I want to play this clip by David Drucker from The Dispatch. He was on MSNBC. I think this was Morning Joe, where he said this with the No Kings protest. Side note, I want to read you an email, and I want to be respectful to the listener. Let me find it. I saw it, and then I read it, and then I deleted it. I want to spend a little more time with the No Kings nonsense later, but this is good morning. I will be protesting tomorrow in the No Kings protest in Canton. It's the first time I have ever protested. My wife, my 2 kids, my 2 brothers-in-law, my 2 sisters-in-law, and their 4 kids will also be protesting for the first time. We are doing this because we love America. For me, when Trump named Antifa a domestic terror group, that was the final straw. It is an ideology. This is nothing more than fascist. There's nothing more fascist than banning anti-fascist ideology. My sign will say D-Day was Antifa. Please note that none of us are getting paid by Soros. I listen to your show sometimes, and I wanted to speak up. Please understand that we are Americans too. I don't mean to be insulting to you, but you are an idiot. You're genuinely an idiot. First of all, you're defaming and discrediting the greatest generation who fought the Nazis, trying to wrap yourself in their moral superiority when you're showing up at a protest on a cool morning in October, really accomplishing nothing other than making yourself feel worthwhile. Not only that, but you claim that Antifa is an ideology. Actually, it's a group of people. And I know it's a group of people because, unlike you, I have friends who have been targeted by these individuals, who were harassed in church, who were stalked by individuals, who were threatened by these individuals. And guess what they called themselves? Antifa. They called themselves Antifa. It wasn't an ideology. It was a group of masked people who showed up in a church service to disrupt the church service because these people went to church there. It wasn't an ideology that took pictures of the kids at school and sent them in the mail to the family. It was people. It wasn't an ideology that fired bullets at cops. It was people who called themselves Antifa. And if you think those people are comparable to the men who stormed the beaches of Normandy, you are definitionally an idiot. And that's the mildest word I'm allowed to say without getting in trouble on the radio. Spare me your smug moral superiority. You're taking your kids to protest. Ooh, whoop-de-doo. You're not storming the beaches of Normandy there, buddy, are you? You're going to protest in Canton, Georgia. I bet you'll have some nice donuts, too, just like the men who stormed the beaches of Normandy. Good Lord. I'm sorry that you wasted your time sending me an email telling me how righteous this cause is. The thing that got you worked up, the thing that caused you to go protest on a Saturday morning so your kids can skip cartoons and breakfast, is Donald Trump labeled a group of people terrorists who actually have engaged in terroristic behavior around the country. It's an ideology. It's like the men who stormed the beaches of Normandy. So we're going to storm the central town square of Canton and go get donuts. We won't be dodging bullets. We'll be dodging cars across the street. It's the same thing. Holy moly, the smug superiority of these people. And you know the problem with this No Kings protest is that no one cares other than you smugly superior, arrogant people on the left who really think that's the big issue. There will be no oligarchs in America. Thanks to you people on the left, no one knows what an oligarch is because everybody comes out of high school illiterate. There will be no totalitarianism in America. Who the hell knows what that means? They got a public school education in the United States, and you people on the left destroyed that. This is David Drucker on MSNBC.
As I reported last week, a lot of Republicans don't have the same sense of dread approaching this midterm election as they did with that midterm election because they don't see the kind of energy and pushback to Donald Trump that they saw then. What political strategists and even I've talked to sociologists and pollsters about this have told me is that the issue of democracy, as motivating as it is for Democratic activists and as concerned as many Americans are about Trump's executive overreach, that it doesn't have sort of the same heft as an issue that's going to push a lot of voters to the polls to vote against the Republicans, at least as things stand now, because a lot of people don't necessarily feel like democracy has worked all that well for them. They don't want to give it up. They don't want a different system, but they're focused on the price of groceries. They're focused on their economic well-being. And that's, I think, why we've seen Democratic candidates in these off-year races in Virginia and New Jersey and even New York, where Mamdani is doing so well, focus on the issue of affordability and not democracy, because that's what voters want to hear about.
You know, and this is the whole thing with the Democrats in the election last year. You got the Democrats last year. People are worried about affordability in the Democrats, but it's democracy. Groceries are too expensive, but we got to save democracy. I'm struggling to get health care, but you have to stop Trump to save democracy. But my bills are too high, but democracy. My kids aren't learning in school, but democracy. How do you not support democracy? You must support democracy. It's democracy. But I want to take care of my family. Democracy. You got these idiots out there with No Kings protest, marching in the streets. Woohoo! We're going to have no kings in America. We want no kings. Tell Donald Trump we want no kings. By the way, the man is term limited. He's going to be gone January 20th of 2029. He's not a king. He doesn't wear a crown. And these people are like, screw your grocery bills. We got to save democracy. It's the same problem they had in 2024. That's why they all just think about the messaging. Republicans, let me give you a hard and painful truth. This is from CNBC. CNBC interviewed nearly a dozen small business owners to get a better understanding of how much tariffs are costing them and the impact the duties are having on their strategy and operations. Many of the small businesses said they've been forced to freeze hirings, pull back on growth, take on new financing, or cut salaries to keep operations going. It's to the point now where it could kill us. It could take us down. I could lose everything. Being a small business owner isn't worth it when your country turns on you, says Jared Hendricks, the CEO of Village Lighting, a small business selling Christmas products. Varish Vermar isn't sleeping. The CEO of AV Universal Corps, a small footwear company that sells to retailers like Macy's, Nordstrom, and DSW, says he's got to take out a $250,000 loan to pay his tariff bill on a container of shoes he imported from India for the holiday shopping season. He didn't have cash on hand to pay the duties. And what are the Democrats out there campaigning on tomorrow? We want no kings! No kings in America! The American people are the kings! We want no kings! We got to save democracy! They're not talking about groceries. They're not talking about tariffs. They're not talking about blowing up drug lords in the Caribbean. They're not talking about any of the stuff that the American people actually care about because they're so mind-numbingly stupid. They're going to go show up in the town square tomorrow and talk about, we're here for No King's Day. We don't go to church on Sunday. We go protest on Saturday. Woo! This is why the Democrats keep losing over you, Donnie Deutsch.
And Donnie, we should also note this protests, technically are calling for Democratic leadership to step up too. It's not just Trump specific, but it is pretty much centered on Trump, and it's reflective. The energy that's out there, and the crowds expect to be huge this weekend. A lot of Americans unhappy with where the country's going.
Yeah. I think they'll be peaceful. We've had them in the past, and obviously there is the right to protest, and I think both sides need to behave. Obviously, anybody at the National Guard side has got to behave. The protesters got to behave. It's an interesting time to be doing it. Trump is coming off his most successful week ever as a president. I mean, there's universal backing in terms of obviously what happened with Israel and the fantastic job he's done. So it's an interesting week to be coming out against Trump. I don't know if I would have picked this week to do it, but we'll see what happens.
Yes! The man just got American citizens who've been held captive for 2 years by Hamas in tunnels released. And we're going to go celebrate and say, no kings in America. We don't care about your grocery bills. We don't care about the tariffs of the small business. We don't care about any of that. Oh my gosh, he labeled Antifa a terrorist group. I've got to go take to the streets. And the Democrats wonder why the American people still hate them more than they hate Donald Trump.
Honest.
Putting your trust in me to tell you what's going on.
Transparent.
I need you to know this from the bottom of my heart.
Giving you the information without the noise.
My job isn't to tell you what you want to hear, it's to tell you the truth.
It's the Erick Erickson Show.
1250 in the Cool Ray Carrier, 24-hour traffic center, active road maintenance, knocking out a right lane, 285 northbound, the inner loop, just past Langford Parkway, that's exit 5. It is causing you some slowdowns back to Camp Creek, but you don't need for an alternate, just a little patience to make it through that area. And then 166 Langford, going eastbound, also has a right lane and the ramp knocked out if you're trying to get off at Sylvan Road. That's a no-go, but you can access Perkerson Road. This report is sponsored by Anthem Blue Cross and Blue Shield. Learn more about their support of Common Threads and nutrition education at anthem.com/dream. Anthem Blue Cross and Blue Shield is a trade name of Blue Cross Blue Shield Healthcare Plan of Georgia, Inc. I'm Chinwe Mapanya Cook, 95.5 WSB.
If it's happening on the streets of Atlanta.
After suspect refuses to exit home on Summer Chase Drive.
If it's happening on the roads leading to Atlanta.
Looks to be a tanker truck crashed into the median on the JamCam.
95.5 WSB has you covered.
The major culprits squeezing household budgets for auto insurance, gasoline, and utilities.
Your 24/7 news source. Tune in throughout the day to stay up to date.
95.5 WSB, Atlanta's breaking news station.
Scratching, scampering, scurrying noises in your attic? You've got squirrels. Scott Slade here. Better get Breda Pest Management to kick them out before those squirrely scoundrels start running an Airbnb in your attic. Those squirrels are not leaving without a fight. They'll keep coming back, chewing new holes over and over again. Under the Breda Wildlife Guarantee, you stay protected at no additional cost.
Breda, no need to be afraid of bugs.
I'm here with Chris Hoffman, the founder of Hoffman Financial Group and host of Money Unleashed. Chris, with all the things we're reading, seeing, and living through these days, from rate cuts, election season, and now a new administration, now seems like a great time to make sure we have that comprehensive plan in place. You know, the one that covers all our financial bases.
There are occasions throughout the year
where I feel like it's critical for people to engage their financial lives and get the information that they deserve from a financial advisory team. And this is one of those times, to be quite frank. So we ask that you call us if you have a minimum of $500,000 in your full portfolio. But we're going to do away with that minimum so that those folks can have an equal opportunity to understand what's in their portfolio as well. Now, you have to have some money, right? I can't help you to build your wealth at work, right? But I sure can help, I believe, with your 401k, IRA management. There's probably 2 or 3 things that'll surprise you that you may want to take action on. So the next 10 people that call in, we'll work up either a portfolio x-ray, or if you feel like you need a full retirement plan, go to unleashyourmoney.com, click on Portfolio X-ray, or click on Full Retirement Plan. We think you'll be impressed enough, and we want you to become a client. There's no question about it. We believe that we are a very competent fiduciary advisory team, and we want to offer that to our listeners. Let Hoffman Financial Group actually show you how we perform, and I believe we perform at the pinnacle of this industry.
Call the Hoffman Financial Group at 404-737-3858, 404-737-3858, or online at unleashyourmoney.com. Investment advisory services offered through Brookstone Wealth Advisors, a registered investment advisor. Insurance and annuities offered through Hoffman Financial Group Incorporated, Georgia Insurance License number 163546.
Cooler weather, shorter days, busy schedules, all great reasons to treat your family to a Bullfrog hot tub from Brown's Pools and Spas. The perfect place to relax and unwind. Only Bullfrog offers the Jetpack Therapy system. Each seat is customized to fit every body in your family. Now through October 20th, receive a free premium water care upgrade, up to $1,500 in instant rebates, plus special financing for up to 120 months. Brown's Pools and Spas, celebrating 50 years of BrownsPools.com.
WSB Atlanta, WSB FM, and HD1 Doraville. 95.5 WSB, Atlanta's News and Talk.
95.5 WSB, Atlanta's News and Talk.
You may not agree with him, but he tells you the truth. It's the Erick Erickson Show.
Hello, welcome. It is Erick Erickson here. In a few moments, we may be jumping to the White House because the President of the United States is meeting with the President of Ukraine before the President of the United States heads to Budapest to meet the President of Russia. By the way, I figured it out. If you would like to be a part of the program today, you can email us a voice memo. Need to say your name, doesn't have to be your full name, first name and where you're from and what your point is. Email contact@ewerickson.com. My team needs to work today anyway. It's a Friday. I got one of them hunting and 2 of them probably preparing for football this weekend. So if you email contact@ewerickson.com, you can send me your voice memos. Say your first name and where you're from. Oh, look, we got Ole Miss versus Georgia tomorrow at 3 p.m. and Tennessee versus Alabama at 7:30. Would it not be hilarious if Tennessee beat Alabama tomorrow night? I mean, that's going to be a fun game to watch, I bet. There is good football this weekend. Okay, when we come back, I want to bring you the latest on the situation with the President of the United States and the President of Ukraine. Remember, President Trump has been flirting with the idea of sending Tomahawk missiles to Ukraine. Those would be long-range missiles that would allow Ukraine to blow up the drone manufacturing plants inside Russia. The Russians have drone manufacturing plants that they have built close to the front, but further than they know the Ukrainians are capable of bombing. So they can build them and rapidly deploy them because they're outside the range of the Ukrainian weaponry. But if the Ukrainians get Tomahawks, suddenly they either have to move the factories further away from the front, which will take more time to deploy them and give the Ukrainians more notice, or their plants get bombed. Republicans and Democrats alike in the Senate are saying they may actually vote, even though the government is shut down, to pass a Russia sanctions bill that the House has already passed. And then there's this weird story I got to get to. Those of you in Lafayette on KPEL, what the heck is happening? We got the Cajun Navy, and now we got the Cajun terrorists. We got the Cajun Navy are a bunch of heroes. The Cajun terrorists apparently was helping Hamas. We got to deal with this guy. We'll get to that news as well. First, I got to tell you about Hillsdale College. Hillsdale College wants you to take one of their great classes for free. You go to ericforhillsdale.com, E-R-I-C-K, ericforhillsdale.com today. You sign up with Hillsdale College. You take one of their 40 classes completely free. Take the one on capitalism. Take the one on the Federalist Papers. Take the one on C.S. Lewis. Take the one on the Constitution. Take the one on the early Roman Republic. Who doesn't think about Rome on a daily basis? I know I do. You can take some great classes on Rome and Roman history. You take ones on economics or chemistry or math. All you have to do is go to ericforhillsdale.com. You don't pay a penny. There's no charge. Every class consists of 30-minute videos. Depending on the class, depends on the number. ericforhillsdale.com, E-R-I-C-K, ericforhillsdale.com. Sign up with Hillsdale College today. Get smarter at no charge from Hillsdale College. You can thank me later. Eric, E-R-I-C-K, ericforhillsdale.com. When we come back, the presidents of Ukraine and the United States meeting in the Oval Office.
Where you're going is a given. How you're getting there?
Well, that's the question.
We will start to see some delays if they shut that ramp down on 285 East.
Before you hit the navigation
You're going to be slowing right around Hudson Bridge Road.
Listen to the people you can trust.
And really slow out of Ackworth into Emerson.
Updated traffic as often as you need it every time you listen.
We had a lot going on this morning through Henry County.
More experience, more reliable, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, triple team traffic.
95.5 WSB. How Atlanta gets there.
I'm Ed Evans, CEO of Consumer Cellular. Ever wonder why Big Wireless wants you on an unlimited plan? They probably want you to cover the cost of those 20-somethings using all that data every month. But most people 50 and up like me only use 12 gigs or less. Don't get bamboozled by Big Wireless. Switch to Consumer Cellular. Our plans start at just $20, and we use the same towers as the big guys. Join the millions who choose something better, because if you're not using all that data, you're probably getting used.
Call 1-888-FREEDOM or visit consumercellular.com/facts. Plans include $5 credit for auto pay and e-billing. See site for additional facts.
Basketball is back, football season is heating up, and Prize Picks is making this sports season even more fun. So don't miss any of the action this season with Prize Picks, where it's good to be right. Download the Prize Picks app today, use the code ROAM, and get a $50 bonus credit instantly in lineups when you play $5. That's code ROAM on Prize Picks to get a $50 bonus credit instantly in lineups when you play $5. Win or lose, you'll get the $50 bonus credit in lineups just for playing. It's guaranteed. Prize Picks, it's good to be right. You do have to be present in certain states. Visit prizepicks.com for restrictions and details.
News, weather,
traffic.
95.5 WSB, Atlanta's News and Talk.
It is 1 o'clock. Good afternoon. I'm Sabrina Cupid. Clayton County Police say that a 6-month-old baby whose body was found this week died of blunt force trauma. The body discarded in a trash bag. WSB's Veronica Waters joining us live with new details.
Yeah, and Sabrina alerted to foul play as they interviewed the father of 6-month-old Nakai Pratt.
He was caught in a lot of lies throughout his interview.
Clayton County Police Detective Cheyenne Reynolds says cell phone data and eyewitness statements helped them find the missing little boy inside a trash bag in the backyard of a home on Green Valley Road.
The cause of death, according to the autopsy, was blunt force trauma.
Police Major Francisco Romero says for those making the grim discovery,
it's tough. It's tough. They're not robots.
Antonio Pierce is charged with malice murder. The boy's mother, Nicolette Pratt, is accused of helping cover it up. Both have been denied bond. Their preliminary hearings come next month. Reporting live, Veronica Waters, 95.5 WSB.
Sunny skies today, staying mild with an afternoon high of 80, says WSB meteorologist Christina Edwards. A Conyers man facing 25 years behind bars if convicted in a cold case from the 1990s.
57-year-old Michael Benjamin has been brought to New York, facing an indictment on 17 counts related to violent robberies, burglaries, and rape charges. They all span over 3 years in several Queens neighborhoods. The Queens District Attorney's Office released a statement saying DNA from a discarded cup Benjamin used inside the Rockdale County Sheriff's Office matched the DNA from victims at the time of the crimes. Benjamin had been apprehended in Georgia in September. Now he's been extradited to New York on the allegations. Mary Ryan Howarth, 95.5 WSB.
And a man accused of raping women over a period of more than 13 years is indicted by a grand jury in Douglas County. 52-year-old Bobby Lee Hart Jr. facing 18 charges in connection with attacks on 7 women. According to the indictment, the first incident happened in September of 2012. DNA evidence from older sexual assaults linked Hart to the crimes. The first case of a more severe strain of Mpox without any recent travel history has been identified in the United States now. It is in California. The case was confirmed in a Long Beach resident. While this is the 7th case of the more severe strain confirmed in the U.S. this year, it is the first without known travel. The risk is considered low, though, for the general public. It's 102.
Okay, let's talk about meal prep. It's a pain in the butt. You don't like it. I don't like it. Is there an easy option? Yes, omahasteaks.com. In fact, take advantage of the early Black Friday sale right now. You get 50% off site-wide, 20% off select favorites, and then $35 more off by using promo code ERICK at checkout, ERICK. Terms apply. See site for details, omahasteaks.com. Listen, so you can go get your individually wrapped boneless, skinless chicken breast. Makes it really, really great for meal prep. You can get the pure ground filet mignon burgers. You can get New York strips. You can get so much at an incredible value. It's omahasteaks.com. The entire site, 50% off. Select favorites, 20% off that. And then get an extra $35 off by using promo code ERICK, ERICK, as your promo code at checkout. Take advantage of the early Black Friday sale for your meal prep, for your holiday prep, omahasteaks.com.
Recently, a new client called me and started by saying, "Mr. Morgan, I really need your help, but I'm just a nobody." Those words stunned me, and I immediately called him back, and we're now helping him and his family after a terrible accident. I'm John Morgan of Morgan & Morgan. Everybody who comes to our firm at their time of need is a somebody. I grew up poor, but my grandmother was like a queen to us. At Morgan & Morgan, our goal is to level the playing field for you and your family at your time of need. The insurance company has unlimited money and resources. You need a firm who can fight them toe-to-toe. For right at 30 years, we have fought them in courtrooms throughout America. Our results speak for themselves. And always remember this: everybody is a somebody, and nobody is a nobody. Visit forthepeople.com to learn about our firm. Morgan & Morgan, for the people.
Morgan & Morgan, Atlanta, 191 Peachtree, Atlanta, Georgia. Thou-Pound Law. Prior results do not guarantee a similar outcome.
This is Andy Harris, president at Coosa Valley Credit Union, where we believe in the power of human connection. When you call us, you're not greeted by a machine, but by a real person who's here to listen and assist you. Coosa Valley Credit Union. We're local, we're kind, and we're here for you.
Whether it's a walk-in closet, master closet, or pantry, unlock the true potential of your storage areas in time for the holidays. Schedule your free design consultation today at artisancustomclosets.com and reward yourself with affordable luxury this holiday season.
It's 105. Time now for live team coverage of traffic and weather. We start in the WSB 24-hour traffic center.
Right now, it's going to take you about 15 minutes to work your way northbound through the heart of the city on that connector, I-75-85, leaving Langford Parkway 166, trying to get up to 17th Street. And watch out for a crash that is off to the shoulder right around Peachtree Pine, exit 249. Southbound delays on I-85 beginning around Georgia 400. 75 south delays slow beginning at Northside Drive, and they merge together for a nice slow ride down to I-20. I'm Chinwe Maponia Cook, 95.5 WSB.
I'm WSB meteorologist Christina Upwards. Partly cloudy skies today, highs in the upper 70s to low 80s, lows tonight in the upper 50s. Tomorrow, partly cloudy, an isolated rain shower possible, but mainly dry, high 82. Widespread rain showers for Sunday morning, tapering off in the afternoon, high 75.
It is 75 degrees right now in Canton. Here in Midtown Atlanta, we have 77 degrees. We'll have more news at 1:30, breaking news when it happens. I'm Sabrina Cupid, 95.5 WSB.
Hello, America. It is Eric Erickson here. The phone number, 877-973-7425. Should you wish to be on the program, I would be delighted to have you. We are keeping our eye on the White House. The President of the United States and the President of Ukraine are there to be meeting. There are active conversations about the use of Tomahawk missiles inside Ukraine by the president. He is seriously thinking of granting permission to Ukraine to use those Tomahawk missiles. Now, we are told something new that we didn't know the other day. It turns out, didn't scare me this time. Dude just went past my window. I'm 7 floors up. He's on one of those window washing thingy bridges, and there he goes. Wow. Okay, sorry. So we're told that it was Vladimir Putin who asked for the meeting with Donald Trump. It was not a Trump-initiated conversation. It was a Putin-initiated conversation, and it came after President Trump openly suggested that he would send Ukraine Tomahawk missiles. The Tomahawk missiles would give the Ukrainians long-range capabilities. Those long-range capabilities would be able to reach the drone factories within Russia. Not only that, they would be able to reach power plants within Russia. They would be able to reach natural gas depots and hubs inside Russia. The Russians have been bombing the Ukrainian power grid pretty heavily over the last month. So it is October, obviously. And in October, it starts to get cold in Ukraine, and it's going to get colder and colder over there. And before winter sets in, the Russians have been blowing up the various bits of Ukraine's power grid that they're capable of blowing up. They have targeted natural gas supplies within Ukraine, and Ukraine would like to reciprocate because Russia is so big, the largest country on the planet. It's hard to make the Russians feel the way the Ukrainians feel. The Russians have their own problems. The Russians are short of food. The Russians have real issues. But the Russians typically have their lights on at night and have heat at night in ways the Ukrainians do not. If you expand the missile reach of the Ukrainians, well, then you expand their capacity to wage war. You expand their ability to inflict damage on the Russians, and you probably more quickly bring this situation to an end. While we are waiting on the president of Ukraine and United States, there's another story. Now, those of you down in Lafayette, notice, by the way, so I live in Georgia, but I am from Louisiana. And so I know it's Lafayette, Louisiana. In Georgia, for reasons that flummox me to no end, they say Lafayette. Now, here in Georgia, we have Vienna, Georgia, home of the Vienna sausage, except it's Vienna. My wife, to this day, she likes pigs in a blanket, and she says, will you go get me some Vienna sausages from the grocery store? It's like, I don't know what that is. Do you mean a Vienna sausage? And she gets mad at me. She also says pecan, and I say that's something you flush, but that's neither here nor there. We also have Cairo, Georgia, which you would think is like the syrup, K-A-R-O, but nope, it's spelled Cairo, but they pronounce it Cairo. My favorite is we have Houston County in Georgia, but it's Houston County in Georgia. Y'all, I got no idea. I don't know. I don't know. I've told the story before. I one time worked for a member of Congress who had a lady from Chicago come down, and she did not know the uniqueness of the pronunciations in Georgia. So she went to what in Illinois is Coeur d'Alene and said Coeur d'Alene, but in Georgia we say Cordial. And, well, it caused problems. So in any event, it's Lafayette, Louisiana. It is God's country. The food there is fantastic. Now it makes me miss Don's, among other things. But a Lafayette resident has been charged in connection with the October 7th, 2023 terrorist attack on Israel, court documents show. Mahmoud Ahmed Yaqib al-Muhtadi, 33, is charged with providing, attempting to provide, or conspiring to provide material support to a foreign terrorist organization and visa fraud in federal court. Online jail records show he's being held in St. Martin Parish Jail. Al-Matadi is accused of being part of the military wing of the Democratic Front for the Liberation of Palestine, which carried out one of a series of terrorist attacks on Israel that killed over 1,200 people. Cell phone records pinged al-Matadi's phone to a cell tower in Kfar Aza, the site of one of the attacks. Prosecutors also obtained recorded calls that allegedly showed al-Matadi used that phone to organize a group to participate in the attack. Accordingly, 60 people were killed and 19 others were kidnapped in that attack. He's alleged to have falsified the application for a visa to enter the United States. Officials said he was living and working in Lafayette. The criminal complaint was filed October 6th under seal in federal court in Lafayette and unsealed late Thursday, signed by FBI Special Agent Alexandria Thomas O'Donnell, who's described as having almost as many names in her name as the terrorist. I made that part up. I mean, you got Special Agent Alexandria M. Tolman O'Donnell indicting Muhammad Ahmed Yaqub al-Matadi. Okay. Well, she's a counterterrorism expert assigned to investigate the murders and kidnappings of Americans on October 7th. So just think about this. Joe Biden, President of the United States of America, allowed into the country one of the people who participated in the October 7th attacks. This is how screwed up immigration was under Joe Biden. One of the Hamas terrorists who participated in the October 7th, 2023 attack was granted permission to enter the United States by the Biden administration, and he took up residence in Lafayette, Louisiana. That's how screwed up it was. He falsified his application for a visa to enter the United States. His cell phone tracks him to one of the terror sites. Notwithstanding all of that, the Biden administration let him into the country, and he's been working in a restaurant in Lafayette, Louisiana. This man went from shooting people in the head to sucking the heads of crawfish in Louisiana and thought he could get away with it. And it was not the Biden administration that caught him. It was the Biden administration that let him into the country. It was the Trump administration that caught him and is going to prosecute him. He's in prison now. The counterterrorism expert of the FBI who was assigned to help deal with the victims, murders, kidnappings, and terrorists involved on October 7th tracked him down and found him in Louisiana. Led into the United States by Joe Biden and his administration. I got a real problem with the failures of the Biden administration on this one. I mean, seriously, y'all. How do you do this? You open the borders to everybody, and a guy lies about his background, and you don't verify it before you let him in. You let him in and then decide you're going to try to verify it. And it turns out to be fraudulent. It's absurd to me. It's genuinely absurd to me that we are at a point where the Democrats took our border so unseriously that one of the people who allegedly was involved in the attacks on October 7th could take up residence in the United States, and of all places, Lafayette. I love Lafayette. I love South Louisiana. I grew up there. In fact, I worked with a guy in Middle Georgia who is an older gentleman years ago. I mean, he was old long time ago, passed away since. He and his wife used to get in the car and drive to Préjean's, which is an incredible Cajun restaurant in Lafayette. They would drive from Macon, Georgia to Lafayette, Louisiana for the sole purpose of eating at Préjean's. That's how good the restaurant is. I've been to Lafayette many times. They are really good people. They are hardworking, kind souls in Cajun country. And allegedly a murderer of Jews from October 7th decided to land there and take a job and hide out. I gotta say, it is the last place on planet Earth I would expect one of the October 7th combatants to hide out. And while he was there, undoubtedly, he encountered many of the wonderful people of South Louisiana who didn't care where he was from. Many of the people from Lafayette work for oil companies, some of whom have been overseas to the Middle East. He had fantastic food while he was there. You know and I know he wasn't keeping halal in South Louisiana. You get offered boudin, you're going to eat the boudin. But there he hid, thanks to the Biden administration, allowing a terrorist into the country. Now, I'm going to go on and step out here because I have a sneaking suspicion if I wait too much longer to go out. While we're in commercial break, the president of the United States and Volodymyr Zelensky will start speaking, and I don't want to miss it. So I want to be good with clock management. So I'm going to go on now and step out. When we come back, hopefully by then we will have the presidents of Ukraine and the United States in the Oval Office talking. And who knows, maybe it'll be another big spectacle like that first time. I'm hoping not, though. I'm hoping we get a real commitment to help Ukraine here, because the president of the United States, I think, is getting tired of dealing with the president of Russia making promises he has no intention of keeping.
Those who love him, listen to find out what he's going to say next. Those who disagree with him, also listen to see what he's going to say next. It's the Eric Erickson Show.
119 in the Cool Ray Carrier 24-hour traffic center. Brand new travel advisory in West Atlanta with a crash knocking out 2 center lanes. This is I-285 southbound, the outer loop right at Hollowell Parkway, exit 12. It is causing you some slowdowns back to South Atlanta Road. This report is sponsored by True Natural Gas. Bigfoot probably isn't true. He certainly isn't local. To see something both local and true, visit TrueNaturalGas.com. They're a local company with honest pricing and truly low rates. I'm Chinwe Maponya Cook, 95.5 WSB.
He's the guy at the desk next to you.
It's not as bad as it could be. He's your co-pilot for the ride home. Hey, the ladies are at home. Let's smoke cigars.
Eric Von Hessler.
Some sort of cultural affirmation. Yes, I am this kind of man.
Today at 3.
95.5 WSB, Atlanta's News and Talk.
The Findlay Roofing Chief Barking Officer Rufus has the zoomies. He's rolling over about saving you $1,000 off your roof replacement. That's a lot of bones. Hey, it's Dave Baker for Findlay Roofing, the roof guys. Stop repairing the leaks and dragging your feet. For a limited time, save $1,000 on your roof replacement. Hurry, this treat ends on Halloween. Schedule your free roof analysis at FindlayRoofing.com.
Did you know that warts are caused by a virus? Hi, it's Sue from Bread Beckers with Sue's Healthy Minute. A customer at Bread Beckers shared her story of frustration. Her daughter had warts, over 500 of them. Her beautiful, healthy daughter could not get rid of warts despite trying doctors, burning, freezing, ointments, you name it. We taught this woman that every nutrient needed to protect ourselves from viruses can be found in whole grains and real bread. She bought everything needed from Bread Beckers to make her own real bread at home. With this one simple change, her daughter's warts were gone in just 2.5 weeks for good. I have a degree in food science, and for more than 30 years, I've studied the incredible health benefits of whole grains and real bread. If you're struggling with warts, high cholesterol, bowel issues, or kids who seem to be constantly sick, take the first step to a healthier life. Visit breadbeckers.com or our Bread Beckers store in Woodstock.
Scott Slade here to talk to you about your health, and I think it's real important to talk about what is most likely to kill you. Heart disease is the #1 killer of Americans, and the older we get, the more prevalent it is. But you can reduce your risk. Eat right, don't smoke, exercise, and be informed about what's going on in your own body. Like lots of potentially serious health problems, if you catch heart disease early, you vastly increase your chances of living a longer life. And that's where virtual imaging comes in. Virtual imaging scans take less than 10 minutes and screen with 98% accuracy for heart disease. Other scans, including brain and full body, are available too. Virtual imaging is locally owned and operated in Atlanta for over 15 years, so they can make you this terrific offer. A complimentary heart scan for you and your spouse with a few minimum requirements. So don't put this off. I've done it. Call Virtual Imaging today for your free heart scan. 770-678-SCAN. That's 770-678-7226. Or visit their website at virtualimagingatl.com.
Fall is here, and with it comes cool air and heavy rains. All that moisture doesn't just smell bad, it affects the air your family breathes and even your home's foundation. Hi, I'm Jeremy, owner of American Crawl Space Solutions, and we believe in a needs-based approach, recommending only what your crawl space truly needs. No high-pressure sales tactics and no price increase just because you don't commit today. American Crawl Space Solutions, your best value in crawl space repair.
American Crawl Space Solutions. Foundations too.
I'm Ed Evans, CEO of Consumer Cellular. Ever wonder why Big Wireless wants you on an unlimited plan? They probably want you to cover the cost of those 20-somethings using all that data every month. But most people 50 and up like me only use 12 gigs or less. Don't get bamboozled by Big Wireless. Switch to Consumer Cellular. Our plans start at just $20, and we use the same towers as the big guys. Join the millions who choose something better, because if you're not using all that data, you're probably getting used.
Call 1-888-FREEDOM or visit consumercellular.com/facts. Plans include $5 credit for auto pay and e-billing. See site for additional facts.
Hey, I'm Mike Slater. My dad passed away at the age of 63. It's out of nowhere. Had a stroke. Super hard, obviously, for the whole family, but my dad had life insurance. This is why I have life insurance for my family, for my wife and 4 kids. And the best place to get life insurance is ethos.com, because you can do it in 10 minutes. And there's no medical exam and no blood test, just a few health questions. Get life insurance in 10 minutes so your family is protected. Ethos, E-T-H-O-S, ethos.com/Mike.
All the news, weather, and traffic you need. 95.5 WSB.
Just joined us? No worries. Check out the Eric Erickson Show 24/7 stream at ericerickson.com. Available for Apple CarPlay and Android Auto.
I'm coming. Sending a note to my wife. The phone number, 877-973-7425, should you wish to be on the program, except, I'm sorry, it's just habit at this point. It's always good for you to have the phone number if you want to call, but I don't have a call screener today because it's hunting season. My buddy Emery texted me, he says, can I have Charlie's job? I would say yeah, except he would take today off to go hunting too, because he's a bigger redneck than my producer. You can, by the way, if you want to send a voice memo to the show, send your name and the city you're in with your short, pithy, to the point audio voice memo to contact@ewerickson.com. And, well, we will review it. My team will review it to see if you're an appropriate fit for our radio program. As we wait, looking at a live shot here of the White House, waiting for something. We assume we're going to be invited into the Oval Office for remarks. We don't know yet, but we are awaiting the situation. I think they're actually waiting for Zelensky showing up. We'll see what happens. I want to bring you the latest when we get to it. There's a lot of other stuff happening out there, including the No Kings protest. I got some other strong thoughts on this. In the meantime, my buddy Ben Domenech, but for whom I would not have this job, he and several friends of mine got Red State started and put me in charge of it back in the day, and one thing led to another. He's now the editor at The Spectator World, the American Spectator, not the American. This is complicated. It's The Spectator U.S. edition. He's got a piece, Schrodinger's Covert Action. While much of the pushback from the right wing to Donald Trump's international hawkishness has come from voices focused on the Middle East and feared potential for wider wars prompted by support for Israel, the actual test of a break within the Republican coalition on foreign policy disputes could come over the president's stepped-up focus on Venezuela. The most recent development, with Trump issuing a rare public acknowledgement he's authorized covert CIA actions on land. I authorized for two reasons, really, he explained. Number one, they've emptied their prisons into the United States, and the other things are drugs. We have a lot of drugs coming in from Venezuela, and a lot of Venezuelan drugs coming in through the sea. Think of it as Schrodinger's covert action. Does it really stay covert once you announce it? This would also seem to go against Trump's stand against starting new wars, particularly those with a mind on regime change, which some of the president's more hawkish supporters would clearly like to be the ultimate aim. It also includes newly ordained Nobel Prize winner Maria Corina Machado, who took to the airwaves in an interview with Christiane Amanpour this week, practically begging Trump to greater action against Maduro. The sheer amount of resources the United States has moved into the region is impressive, well beyond the drones being used to take out a series of Venezuelan drug shipments at sea. Here's the Wall Street Journal. Quote, the U.S. has moved advanced weaponry into the Caribbean and in the skies north of Venezuela, including 8 Navy warships, an attack submarine, F-35B jet fighters, P-8 Poseidon spy planes, MQ-9 Reaper drones. The Pentagon has deployed elite special operations forces, including the Army's secretive 160th Special Operations Aviation Regime, the Night Stalkers, a U.S. official said. Large troop-carrying and attack helicopters in the mix, as are aircraft conducting training flights. Something is clearly going on there. Something's clearly going on in the markets right now as well. Things seem to be upending. Regional banks, the economics seem to be souring there. Swiss America has been warning people about a secret war on cash for some time. They would love to send you their great special free report, The Secret War on Cash. You get a free copy by calling or texting 800-289-2646. Just mention Eric, E-R-I-C-K, when you call or text 800-289-2646. 800-289-2646. Swiss America will send you their report, The Secret War on Cash, completely for free. You can also go to SwissAmerica.com/Eric. SwissAmerica.com/ERICK. Let Swiss America get you their Secret War on Cash report completely free. It can help with your retirement and your finances. It can help you and keep you educated on what the government is doing. The phone number one more time, text my name, Eric, to 800-289-2646 or go to SwissAmerica.com/Eric. Message and data rates may apply. Volodymyr Zelensky and President Trump have just begun meeting at the White House. They have walked into the building. We'll bring you the latest when we get back.
Coming up on the Monday edition of Atlanta's Morning News from 5 to 9, Christina Edwards' 5-day forecast includes much more fall-like weather to start the week. You can depend on traffic updates with more post-fall break commuters on the roads, and Clark Howard's advice for those of us with aging parents on WSB.
Live from the Superior Plumbing Studios.
News,
weather,
traffic. 95.5 WSB.
Atlanta's News and Talk.
It is 1:30. Good afternoon. I'm Sabrina Cupid. This news is sponsored by Ben Hill Renovation. Clayton County police say a 6-month-old baby whose body was found this week died of blunt force trauma. The body discovered and discarded in a trash bag. The parents of baby Nakai Pratt are both facing charges now and are denied bond at a hearing today. The father, Antonio Pierce, charged with malice murder. Clayton County Police Detective Cheyenne Reynolds says Pierce's story of armed robbers stealing the baby didn't add up.
He had inconsistent statements. He was caught in a lot of lies throughout his interview process.
And the baby's mother is also charged, accused of helping to cover up the crime. Your weather for today, sunny skies and mild with a high around 80, says WSB meteorologist Christina Edwards. DNA from a discarded cup links a Conyers man to nearly half a dozen rapes in New York from the 1990s. The Queens District Attorney's Office says 57-year-old Michael Benjamin facing a list of charges for the assaults. They happened between the years of 1995 and 1997. He's extradited to New York to face charges and could face up to 25 years in prison. President Trump will sit down with Ukrainian President Zelensky this afternoon at the White House. This comes one day after the president had a phone call with Russian President Vladimir Putin. They have agreed to meet in Budapest in the coming weeks. White House correspondent Nancy Cortez has more on what's likely to come out of the meeting.
Well, I think we can expect that those Tomahawk missiles will come up again. Zelensky has made no secret of the fact that he is seeking them. In fact, yesterday on the eve of this meeting, he said the only reason that Putin is re-engaging in conversations about an end to the war, talking with President Trump for 2.5 hours yesterday, is because he's worried that Trump might actually provide Ukraine with those Tomahawk missiles.
And Zelensky had been seeking the weapons that would allow Ukrainian forces to strike deep into Russian territory and target key military sites, energy facilities, and critical infrastructure. Well, seat belts and rear view cameras are at the center of 2 new recalls from Ford. The seatbelt issue impacts 332,000 Mustangs. Dealers will inspect the parts and make replacements. Ford also recalling some 292,000 Super Duty pickup trucks. They have an issue with the rear camera. It may not show a proper image so far, and no word of any crashes or injuries related to either of those recalls. It's 1:32.
It's the Medicare Advantage annual enrollment period, and Humana knows not everyone has the same needs when picking a Medicare Advantage plan.
Now that I'm retired, I want to enjoy the life I've worked hard to build. So I want a plan that covers me when I'm traveling the country.
Humana has a plan for that.
As a veteran, I want a plan that fills in the gaps my VA coverage doesn't provide, like dental care.
Humana has a plan for that.
I feel good about my health. I just want care and coverage with predictable costs. No surprises.
Humana has a plan for that. With a Humana Medicare Advantage plan, you get coverage and benefits that focus on what matters most to you. Learn more at gethumana.com. Humana, a more human way to healthcare. Humana is a Medicare Advantage HMO and PPO organization with a Medicare contract. Enrollment in any Humana plan depends on contract renewal.
Cooler weather, shorter days, busy schedules, all great reasons to treat your family to a Bullfrog hot tub from Brown's Pools and Spas. The perfect place to relax and unwind. Only Bullfrog offers the Jetpack Therapy system. Each seat is customized to fit every body in your family. Now through October 20th, receive a free premium water care upgrade, up to $1,500 in instant rebates, plus special financing for up to 120 months. Brown's Pools and Spas, celebrating 50 years of BrownsPools.com.
2 houses, same neighborhood, nearly identical on paper, but one had an orchard sign and it sold for a lot more. So what gives? Hey, it's Eric Von Hessler. The first seller went the trad route. Agent, open houses, price drops, long size, and eventually they gave in and settled for less. The second seller, they went with Orchard. Orchard didn't just list the home, they launched it. Their local agent knew which upgrades would get attention, brought in the right team, and handled everything like a well-oiled home selling machine. Oh, and they also let the seller move first with Orchard's Move First, Sell Later program. That means no showings while living in a half-packed house, no buyers judging your choice of throw pillows, just peace, quiet, and top dollar. One got stress, the other got smart. Don't settle. Sell the smart way with Orchard. Start with a free home valuation at orchard.com. That's orchard.com.
All right, live team coverage of traffic and weather. Let's go to the 24-hour traffic center.
Yeah, this travel advisory is not looking too good, Sabrina. I-285 southbound, right around Hollowell Parkway, that's exit 12. 3 right lanes are knocked out due to a crash. Cars are only getting through in that far left lane. So if you know any of your surface street alternates coming up through Vinings, trying to make your way into West Atlanta, trying to get down to I-20, go ahead and utilize those because this could take a minute with those backups and still working this road maintenance in the right lane. 285 northbound coming the opposite direction past Langford Parkway, exit 5. I'm Chinwe Maponya Cook, 95.5 WSB.
I'm WSB meteorologist Christina Epworth. Partly cloudy skies today with a high near 80. Lows tonight in the upper 50s to low 60s.
We'll have more news at 2 o'clock. Breaking news when it happens. 95.5 WSB.
Engaging and fearless. The Eric Erickson Show, tackling politics and culture with clarity.
Greetings, conversationalists. Welcome. It is Eric Erickson here across the United States. We are waiting for the presidents of Ukraine and the United States to speak publicly from the Oval Office. It appears, let's jump over. It is perfect timing. They waited for me to get back from commercial break for this. We're going to the Oval Office with the President of the United States and of Volodymyr Zelensky. They are sitting inside the cabinet room. I'm waiting for my TV system here that I have in the office. It's on a little bit of a delay, and I want to be able to jump into here. Let's go listen, if we can, as this thing loads.
Need to hear what Mr. Trump has to say.
We put on his music, right? He was great, great guy. He's coming December 5th to perform at the White House for some of the people. If the cabinet members are good, if they're doing a good job, we'll let them come, along with some others, right? We're going to have a good time. December 5th. Well, thank you very much, everybody. It's an honor to be with a very strong leader, a man who has been through a lot, and a man who I've gotten to know very well, and we've gotten along really very well. And we had a big call yesterday, as you know, with President Putin, and we'll be talking about it. President Zelensky of Ukraine has endured a lot. I mean, he really has. He's endured a lot, and we've endured it with him. To be honest, it's been a long time, and I think we're making great progress. So we're going to be talking about that today. We'll be talking about what took place yesterday with my phone call with President Putin. And I think that things are coming along pretty well. It began with Alaska, where I think certain guidelines were discussed, and we want to see if we can get this done. This was long ago into the Biden administration. I came here and we inherited this, and we'd like to see if we could finish it, end it. We want it ended. So many people have died in this war, and we're gonna get it ended. So. I just want to thank you all very much. If you have a couple of questions, go ahead, please. In fact, before I do that, let me just ask the President to say a few words. Thank you, President.
Pleasure. Glad to meet you again, Mr. President. Thank you very much for the invitation. Again, my congratulations with your successful ceasefire in the Middle East.
Thank you.
Yeah, and you did it. And I think this is the momentum to finish Russia's war against Ukraine. I think that, yes, we understand that Putin is not ready. I think not ready, but I think that I'm confident that with your help, we can stop this war. And we really need it. We see that they don't have successful steps on the battlefield, and it's good. I think that their army is weak now, but a lot of losses. They have a lot of losses in economy and people. And I think this is a very important moment. And I wanted to thank you, Mr. President, after our phone calls. Yesterday, I had a good opportunity to meet with the big American energy companies, and they're ready to help us. Yes, after all these attacks on our infrastructure, Russian attacks, and etc. And I had also meetings, thanks to your team. We had meetings with the good military companies who spoke about air defense, and I want to share it after with details where we are. Thank you. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much. Very good. And I think it looks beautiful in his jacket.
Yeah.
It's beautiful. I hope people notice. It's actually very stylish. I like it. Please go ahead.
Under the Biden administration, the White House was fearing of a possible escalation. They were not allowing the Ukrainians to strike into Russia, fearing of this escalation.
Yeah.
Would your administration allow Ukrainians to strike deep into Russia?
We're going to be talking about that. That's something we'll be talking about. You're right. It's an escalation, but we'll be talking about that.
Mr. President Zelensky joined you in Hungary to meet President Putin.
Because it's a leader that we like. We like Viktor Orban. He likes him. I like him. It's a country that's a safe country. Done a very good job. He's been a very good leader in the sense of running his country. He doesn't have a lot of the problems that other countries have. And so we've decided that we'll be going to be with Viktor Orban, and I think he'll be a very good host.
President Trump, President Trump, right here. President Trump.
Hungary, yeah. We're doing Hungary, yeah.
With President trilateral meeting, or is it just you and Putin?
To be determined, but I would say most likely it's going to be a double meeting. It'll be a double meeting, but we will have the President, Zelensky, in touch. There's a lot of bad blood with the two presidents, and I'm not speaking out of turn when I say it. It's a very difficult situation. You know, we just settled the war, and after thousands of years, I guess, people say anywhere from 500 to 3,000 years, and I was in rooms, as you saw, because you were with me. A lot of you were with me last week with leaders that didn't like each other, but they were able to get along. These two leaders do not like each other. and we want to make it comfortable for everybody. So one way or the other, we'll be involved in threes, but it may be separated.
President Trump. President Trump.
We'll see what? Where are you from?
From Ukraine. He actually had
Okay, good. Good, yeah.
What if Mr. President Putin doesn't agree to peace in Hungary? What do you do then? Do you have...
Well, let's see what happens. I mean, you know, what if? I think he will. I think that President Putin wants to end the war, or I wouldn't be talking this way. I think he wants to end the war. I spoke to him yesterday for 2.5 hours. We went through a lot of details. He wants to get it ended. I think that President Zelensky wants to get it ended. Now we have to get it done.
President Trump, Kara Castronova from Lindell TV. And although I love asking you questions, today my question is for President Zelensky
Sure.
of Ukraine.
Go ahead, please.
Thank you. Our President Zelensky, President Trump, just brokered a peace deal in the Middle East that all Americans, both sides of the aisle, are very proud of. But to meet that deal, both sides had to make concessions. Our president has stuck out his neck in many ways to make a peace deal for your war as well. What specific concessions are you willing to make to end this war with Russia? Will you give up joining NATO? Americans have foreign war fatigue, and our president, as he said, we need our Tomahawks too.
To me.
Yes, you, President
Okay.
Zelensky.
Thank you very much.
That's some question.
So many questions in one. Thank you very much for your question. First of all, I think we need to sit and speak. The second point, we need ceasefire. Even now, you see in the Middle East, it's very difficult to hold ceasefire. Everywhere, in every war, it's very difficult. We want peace. Putin doesn't want. That's why we need pressure on him. We will speak with President today what we need. We understand what we need to push Putin to negotiation table. And as I said previously, so we are ready to speak in any kind of format, bilateral, trilateral, doesn't matter. Matter just peace. This is important. And we don't speak about NATO or NATO. For Ukrainians, it's very important. Of course, it's our decision, decisions of allies to decide where we are.
But are you willing to give up
Yes, but
joining
the
NATO?
most important thing for people in Ukraine, which are under each day's attacks, to have really strong security guarantees. NATO is the best, but weapon is very important. Allies on our side is very important. And between us, for us, bilateral security guarantees between me and President Trump is very important. I don't know, we didn't speak with details about it, but this is the most important document because the United States is very strong.
Sir, President Trump, you are the middleman right now, hoping to end this conflict. Who is doing a better job negotiating, President Zelensky or President Putin?
I think they're both doing a great job in that sense. We have to get it done. We've got to take some of the hatred of each other. You know, they don't like each other. I say that in front of President Zelensky, but I say it in front of President Putin too. They have tremendous bad blood. It's really is what is holding up, I think, a settlement. I think we're going to get it done, and we have to make it long-lasting. As I said in the Middle East, everlasting, right? Everlasting. And the Middle East is a much more complicated situation. You know, we had 59 countries involved, and every one of them agreed. And it's, you know, it's sort of amazing. Most people didn't think that was doable. This is going to be something I really believe that's going to get done. I had a very good talk yesterday with President Putin. I think he wants to get it done.
And President Zelensky, right behind you. When we were in Israel with President Trump earlier in the week, we heard a lot about the difference in diplomacy between President Trump and President Joe Biden before him. What do you see as the biggest difference in diplomacy between President Trump and President Biden?
President Trump has a big chance now to finish this war. President Biden now is not the president, so he doesn't have a chance to finish this war. And President Trump is really showed for the world that he can manage ceasefire in the Middle East, And that's why I hope that he will do this, and we will also have such big success. For Ukraine, it's a big chance. And I hope that President Trump can manage it.
We'll step out of there right now. This is the presidents of the United States and Ukraine meeting in the cabinet room, surrounded by, you've got J.D. Vance there, Marco Rubio, you've got the diplomatic team. They will, after this session, have some private closed-door conversations. Yeah, you know, if I were president, I got to say, I think the thing that would annoy me the most is that the reporters are, President Trump, just like have somebody in there pointing and shut the reporters up. Goodness gracious. So, listen, y'all know where I stand on this. I think that Vladimir Putin doesn't really want peace. I don't think he can afford to bring his soldiers home out of Ukraine because many of them were let out of prison. They were killers. They were sent to the front lines where they just learned to get better at killing. And having them go back to Russia, I think, would be destabilizing. I think that Vladimir Putin has caught the tiger by the tail and can't let go of this. But if anyone can get him to let go and make sure he doesn't get devoured by the tiger so he does let go and gives peace, it's probably Trump. I mean, Armenia and Azerbaijan hate each other. He's brought peace to them. India and Pakistan, they hate each other. He's gotten peace there. Hamas and Israel hate each other. He's gotten a modicum of peace there. He's gotten Arab neighbors who despise Donald Trump or despise Israel to recognize Israel. So, I say give the man the benefit of the doubt. Give him the benefit of the doubt, see what he can do. If he can bring peace to the Middle East, maybe he can bring peace to this situation. I just hope that we keep and recognize it was the Russians that invaded Ukraine. There would have been no war but for the Russian invasion of Ukraine. The Russians are not exactly honest brokers in this. So hopefully the president and his team, I think Marco Rubio in particular, does not like Vladimir Putin and will be willing to hold a firm line. Let's step out. If they're still talking, when we come back, I'll jump back over to the White House.
When the truth seems hazy, Eric will clear the way. It's the Eric Erickson Show.
148 in the Coolray Carrier 24-hour traffic center. Better news for you in West Atlanta. That crash has now cleared to the right. 285 southbound, the outer loop at Hollowell Parkway. Your delays are improving significantly as you try and make your way through Vinings. This report is sponsored by Whole Foods Market. Shop the Cheers to Fall event at Whole Foods Market with savings on roast, pizza, and more cozy gathering favorites through October 28th. I'm Chinwe Maponya Cook, 95.5 WSB.
The U.S. is investing up to $1 billion to fight the spread of bird flu.
At the top and bottom of every hour.
Traffic congestion around Metro Atlanta continues to cost commuters.
And when it breaks.
The suspect is in critical condition after being struck multiple times.
Check back 3, 4, 5 times a day for the latest.
95.5 WSB, Atlanta's breaking news station.
Hi, I'm David Nicholas, financial advisor and president of Nicholas Wealth Management. But most importantly, I'm a husband and a father. The 3 most important things in my life are faith, family, and freedom. Unfortunately, I think we're facing threats to all 3. The yahoos in Washington want to erode our wealth by inflation, regulation, and out-of-control spending. Deficits, robbed Social Security, and inflation have devalued our dollar and made raising a family nearly impossible. And frankly, I'm sick and tired of it. The federal government is 40% bigger today than it was before COVID. I think that means taxes are going higher. Don't let higher taxes devastate your retirement accounts. At Nicholas Wealth, we have CPAs and CFPs that can show you how to shelter your retirement accounts from higher taxes. Our Retire Ready tax analysis is a $1,000 value, but we'll provide it completely complimentary for callers who have saved more than $250,000 for retirement and give us a call in the next 10 minutes. The number to call is 404-890-5606. That's 404-890-5606, or you can go to nicholaswealth.com.
Nicholas Wealth is an independent financial services firm that uses a variety of different investment strategies. This is prepared for informational purposes only. It does not address specific investment objectives or the financial situation and the needs of any person. This is a paid advertisement.
You're building a deck or adding a room, that's wonderful. But if you skip hiring an architect trying to save money, well, the builder's going to need drawings anyway. They're going to hire an architect regardless and mark up their fees to you. That's why it's smarter to start your project at Sketchhouse. Hi, I'm Richard Taylor, architect at Sketchhouse. At Sketchhouse, we'll make sure your plans are code and zoning compliant, they'll be creative, and they will look great. You're going to save thousands of dollars with Sketchhouse Architects. We're going to make this easy for you. Go to sketchhouse.com. That's sketch, H-A-U-S, sketchhouse.com.
WSB Atlanta, WSBB FM, and HD1 Doraville. 95.5 WSB, Atlanta's News and Talk.
This is Scott Slade, and nothing takes the place of time when it comes to spotting problems with your health, especially cancer. The earlier, the better. That's where virtual imaging comes in. Virtual imaging's LDCT body scan can be invaluable, giving you more time for you and your loved ones to take charge of your health. They can detect tumors as early as precancerous virtually anywhere in your body, and aneurysms you may not even know are there. Due to overwhelming demand for a limited time, their $995 core body scan offer has been extended. It's a $2,495 value. Early detection saves lives, and now it's more affordable than ever. Virtual imaging has gotten such great response to this offer that they've opened up more times in both offices, but appointments will fill up fast, so don't wait. Some minimum requirements may apply. Early detection is your best protection. To schedule your virtual imaging $995 core body scan, call 770-678-SCAN. That's 770-678-SCAN. Or make an appointment by visiting their website at virtualimagingatl.com.
Your non-stop news source, 95.5 WSB, Atlanta's News and Talk. Taking the complicated and making it simple. It's the Erick Erickson Show.
President of the United States still speaking in the cabinet room with Volodymyr Zelensky. Let's jump back to that. The president answering questions from reporters.
But we're in it to see that end. And if we can end quickly, and I think we can. I mean, I had a very good talk yesterday. We're going to be talking about it. But I had a very productive talk yesterday with President Putin. We'll see what happens. But the war in the Middle East was far more complicated. We got that one done. And I think we have a good chance. I think President Zelensky wants it done, and I think President Putin wants it done. Now all they have to do is get along a little bit.
Can you give us an update on the trade negotiations with China, or perhaps Secretary Bessent?
Yeah, I will, and I'm going to let Scott do that. But I think we're doing very well. I think we're getting along with China. China would like to have something as of this moment. We'll be meeting in a couple of weeks. We'll be meeting in South Korea.
You think
myself.
Will go forward?
I think so. It looks like it's going forward. I think so. They want to meet. We like to meet. I have a very good relationship with President Xi, and we're going to see what happens. But, you know, for years we were taken advantage of by China very badly. We were losing hundreds of billions of dollars a year to China. We really built their military, if you think about it. The kind of money that presidents allowed to be lost to China was just insane. And then when I came into office, as you know, I put very severe tariffs. So we took in hundreds of billions of dollars in my first term from China. Biden let that go because it was so much. He let it continue, but he gave all sorts of exceptions. And by the time you looked at it, Scott, I would say it wasn't the same thing. He would give an exception for anything. If you got up and went out to dinner, he'd give you an exception. So it wasn't the same thing. But I put on very serious tariffs. So we took in hundreds of billions of dollars. And then I left office. The election was rigged. I left office, and that was the story. Now I come back. And we are in a very strong position because of tariffs. We're in a very powerful position because of the fact that we have tariffs. If we didn't have tariffs, we would be in a very weak position. We would be in a weakened state. But with tariffs, we've made hundreds of billions of dollars, not only from China, but from others. And China wants to talk, and we like talking to China. So we have a very good relationship, and we're going to be meeting in South Korea in a couple of weeks. And I just got back from a long trip. I'm going on another long trip. And Scott, do you want to say a few words on that, please?
Yes, sir. So the entire relationship stems from the great respect that the two leaders have for each other. China did a substantial, unprovoked escalation last week. We were unable to get in touch with them since then. It's been IMF World Bank Week. They have had working level people here who there have been meetings. The Vice Premier, who is my counterpart, and I will be speaking this evening at around 8:30, 9 o'clock. And then he and I and a delegation will meet in Malaysia probably a week from tomorrow to prepare for the two presidents to meet. So I think that things have de-escalated. We hope that China will show the respect that we have shown them. And I am confident that President Trump, because of his relationship with President Xi, will be able to get things back on a good course.
Is the hope for that meeting with you and President Xi some kind of trade deal then? Or
could be.
More
Look, I think we're in a very strong position. We're getting, as you know, as of November 1st, I could move it up if I wanted, a 100% tariff over and above what we get now.
President, we got to stop there to go out. We will be back here in a few moments, but first I got to tell you about Vision Computer. If you're buying a computer, building a computer, you're upgrading a computer, they are your one-stop shop anywhere nationwide. VisionComputers.com or 404 Compute. More importantly, if you need managed IT for yourself, for your home, for your company, Vision can take care of you. Now, just think about this. You are not an IT person, probably. You need to be able to get someone on the phone. You could go Googling, but God knows what you're going to find out. You might find out your computer has terminal cancer if you Google it. So why don't you just call Vision at 404 Compute? Sign up with them. It's $199 a year per computer. You can do it for yourself, for your business, and your employees will get the phone number. You call, they answer the phone. You don't have to Google that your computer has some sort of terminal cancer. You call somebody in 15 seconds or less. They get on the phone and actually tell you what's going on. 404 Compute or VisionComputers.com. They're going to be able to keep you up and going so you minimize loss, you maximize profit, and your company and yourself, you got peace of mind. 404 Compute or VisionComputers.com. Let Vision Computers take care of your computer needs nationwide.
The news of the day through the eyes of Eric Von Hessler.
This might help, young man. This might cure what ails you.
If it's on your mind, it's on his.
I run a stupid little radio show. I don't care. Have fun.
Eric Von Hessler, today at 3.
Your friend, Eric Von Hessler, the common sense host.
95.5 WSB, Atlanta's News and Talk.
1-877 Cards for Kids. KARS Cards for Kids.
Ready to get rid of that old car? Donate it to Cars for Kids. Call 1-877 for Kids to reach a friendly live agent. Donation's super easy, and your car can be picked up as soon as tomorrow. Call us now, 1-877 for Kids.
1-877 for Kids. Donate your car today.
Did you know you can donate real estate too?
Hey, I have got an exclusive, money-saving, $29 offer to keep your family safe and warm. Hey, it's Chris Chandler for TE, Certified Electrical, Plumbing, Heating, and Cooling. After my fall checkup, I have total peace of mind, and you can too. New TE certified customers pay just $29 for a fall checkup. But hurry, offer ends October 31st.
TE Certified, we love your home.
News,
weather,
traffic. 95.5 WSB, Atlanta's News and Talk.
At 2 o'clock, I'm Bill Kayaccio with our top story. It's happening now. President Trump meeting with the leader of Ukraine at the White House.
CBS News special report, a White House welcome for Vladimir Zelensky. Moments ago, President Trump's meeting with Ukraine's president is just starting. Zelensky says with the Gaza ceasefire, Trump now has the momentum to stop the Russia-Ukraine war. This meeting starts with more aid on the line, and it comes a day after Trump and Russia's Vladimir Putin spoke. White House correspondent Nancy Cordes.
He said the only reason that Putin is re-engaging in conversations about an end to the war, talking with President Trump for 2.5 hours yesterday, is because he's worried that Trump might actually provide Ukraine with those Tomahawk missiles.
That being Zelensky's take. Here's CBS's Margaret Brennan.
President Trump continues to present this as if it is a war where both sides have some legitimate claims rather than simply a war of Russian aggression against Ukraine. That was how the previous administration approached it and didn't have that presidential communication with Putin.
CBS News Special Report. I'm Peter King.
79 degrees in Atlanta. When does widespread rain arrive this weekend? Meteorologist Christina Edwards has Atlanta's most accurate and dependable forecast coming up. Heartbreaking details emerge about the death and discovery of a 6-month-old boy in Clayton County.
The Clayton County Medical Examiner says 6-month-old Nakai Pratt died of blunt force trauma to the head, and his body was covered with insects when found. Clayton County Police Detective Cheyenne Reynolds.
He was found discarded in a trash bag.
Clayton County Magistrate Judge John Parker denied bond for Father Antonio Pierce on malice murder and other charges.
It is alleged that you knowingly and intentionally tampered with evidence by asking a witness to hide a book bag containing drugs and a handgun, and by taking the missing child's body and attempting to hide it along a fence line.
The baby's mother, Nicolette Pratt, is also denied bond, accused of covering up the crime. Veronica Waters, 95.5 WSB.
A Conyers man is extradited to New York to face charges for allegedly raping 5 different victims in southeast Queens in the 1990s. The Queens District Attorney's Office says 57-year-old Michael Benjamin faces a list of charges for the assaults between 1995 and 97. Investigators matched Benjamin to the crimes in 2024 using DNA from a discarded cup. He could face up to 25 years in prison. Flags are at half-staff in Georgia today in honor of State Representative Mandy Ballinger, who died from cancer. The Republican from Canton represented Georgia's 23rd District. Her funeral was held this morning at First Baptist Church of Canton. It is 2:02. This news sponsored by Brett Beckers. Up next, live team coverage of traffic and weather.
There's no need to be scared of stains in your carpet when you can call Zerorez Carpet and Air Duct Cleaning. It's Patrick, owner of Zerorez. Zerorez cleans without the use of harsh soaps or spooky chemicals, leaving behind clean carpets safe for the entire family. For a limited time, get 3 rooms of carpet clean for $129 when you mention WSB. That's right, 3 rooms of carpet clean for $129. Easily schedule your cleaning online at ZerorezAtlanta.com. Zerorez, it's the right way to clean.
If your home smells musty and moldy, don't wait. Moisture and mold not only produce that old home smell, it can even weaken your home's foundation. At American Crawl Space Solutions, we stop the problem at its source. From encapsulation and waterproofing to mold remediation and foundation repair, we give you the right solution without high-pressure sales tactics. Get peace of mind with American Crawl Space Solutions, your best value in crawl space repair.
American Crawl Space Solutions. Foundations too.
More and more these days, people are in pain, are taking control of their health and looking beyond the traditional medicine. Hey, it's Mark here. That's why QC Kinetics is so successful. People with chronic joint pain are learning that there are other options besides steroids, meds, and surgery. Patients fighting pain are getting lasting relief using advanced cellular treatments. It's QC Kinetics regenerative medicine that can revitalize your joints using growth factors from your own body. And check it out, guys. It's a simple injection. No hospital stay. It's fast, all natural, and no downtime. I want you to call QC Kinetics and get a free consultation. Exercise your freedom to look beyond the same old solutions. Thousands of patients around the country finding a better life with QC Kinetics and their amazing regenerative treatments. Call now to get started. 770-285-8026. That's 770-285-8026. Appointments available on Saturdays. Lawrenceville, Sandy Springs, Marietta, Stockbridge, Decatur, and Douglasville.
Contractors and builders know Randall Brothers is Atlanta's premier building material supplier. Dave Baker here. Randall Brothers has a wider variety of building products than their competitors, so you can find the specialty stock you need fast. And their experienced reps actually know the job and the product, so you can bounce ideas with a dependable, knowledgeable partner. Randall Brothers, widest selection, industry expertise, accurate, no-hassle deliveries. RandallBrothers.com.
It is 2:05, time for live team coverage of traffic and weather in the 24-hour traffic center. It's Chinwe Maponya-Cook.
Good afternoon, Bill. Right now, we just saw a crash that was knocking out 2 left lanes in Duluth. This is I-85 southbound, right around Pleasant Hill Road. But police and tow trucks got there very quickly, and now they're only partially blocking that express lane, so you can squeeze by. Just stay to the right. Other than that, don't really have any issues if you're trying to work your way south into Norcross. Once you do get inside the perimeter, though, you're going to be slowing on 85 southbound, beginning at Georgia 400, 75 south, slow at Moore's Mill, and they come together for a nice slow ride down to I-20. I'm Chinwe Maponya-Cook, 95.5 WSB. WSB.
I'm WSB meteorologist Christina Upwards. Partly cloudy skies today with a high near 80. Lows tonight in the upper 50s to low 60s.
And the rain arrives Sunday morning. Right now it is 77 in Duluth, 77 in Douglasville. It's 76 in Hampton. More news at 2:30. Breaking news when it happens. I'm Bill Caiaccio, 95.5 WSB.
Welcome. It is Eric Erickson here across the United States of America. They're still meeting at the White House. They're about to go behind closed doors. I won't jump back to it here. They're winding down and kind of getting out of the realm of Ukraine and also China and Russia to other things. So I want to move on here. The phone number, I'm not going to worry about giving it to you because can't take calls today. But there was a Pride parade this past week around the country. I don't keep up with it. But there's Pride Month in June. There's Pride Week, which was this past week apparently. There's Trans Pride Week. There's National Coming Out Day. There are all of these things throughout the calendar to celebrate the Alphabet Gang, which strikes me as very religious. They have a liturgical calendar that we must celebrate these particular things at these particular times. The Christians have a liturgical calendar. You celebrate Christmas, and then you get into Epiphany, and then you get into Lenten season, and then you get into Easter, and there are different events depending on your denomination throughout. All major denominations, even the Reformed ones, recognize Advent and the Christmas season, recognize Easter, some recognize Lent. It all depends throughout the year, there are various times. Epiphany is January 6th. Now, those of you listening down in Louisiana, you can appreciate this more than most. In my house, I keep the Christmas decorations up until January 5th. At sunset on January 5th, the lights go out from Christmas Eve night until January 5th. Those are the 12 days of Christmas. The Christmas lights don't turn off. The timer goes off, and the Christmas lights stay on inside and outside for 12 days. The Christmas lights burn bright. And I love it. My wife hates it. She doesn't like that I leave the Christmas decorations on and shining. And honestly, it breaks my heart to see the people take their Christmas decorations down so early. Christmas decorations make me happy. We haven't even put out Halloween decorations this year. I guess I might before Halloween put something out. But now that my kids are older and they don't trick or treat, I just don't. And as I've kind of grown in my faith, I'm a little more creeped out by how people like Halloween so much, and they put out the demons and the monsters and the skeletons. And I know for most people it's just harmless fun, but for me it's just kind of weird that everybody used to decorate for Christmas, and now there are families that will spend more time decorating for Halloween than for Christmas. With Christmas, you're celebrating the birth of your Lord and Savior Jesus Christ. With Halloween, what are you celebrating? The demons, the ghosts, the goblins? I don't know. I'm not opposed to trick-or-treating Halloween. It just kind of creeps me out, the amount of energy some people now go into celebrating it and don't decorate at Christmas. And then it just makes me so sad. There's a house down the street from mine. They put up their Christmas decorations on Thanksgiving, and on Christmas Day, the mom is outside taking down the Christmas decorations. On Christmas Day, I'm like, come on. There are 12 days of Christmas, and they begin on Christmas. And you turn off your lights at sunset on January 5th, because Christmas actually goes from sunset Christmas Eve until sunset January 5th. And on January 6th, it's Epiphany. It is Three Kings Day. It celebrates the arrival of the three kings of the Orient who came from the East. We three kings of Orient are. And you head into Mardi Gras season. And by tradition, on January 6th, you make your first king cake if you're from Louisiana. I happen to make homemade king cakes in my house. Tomorrow is No King's Day. Instead of Three Kings Day, it's No King's Day. And it is as religious as anything the Christians do. For those of you who are participating in No King's Day tomorrow, why are you doing it? What do you hope to accomplish? You are signifying your opposition to the administration of Donald Trump. You are signaling that you stand in opposition to fascism, totalitarianism, authoritarianism, the Trump administration, and you're standing with other people. You are standing united. It's a religious celebration. Many of you who go to your local town square tomorrow to celebrate No King's Day will not be in church on Sunday. The vast majority of people nationwide who will participate in No King's Day protests on Saturday will not darken the doorway of a church on Sunday because tomorrow is their church. Christians globally go to church. If you're Seventh-day Adventist on Saturday, the rest of us on Sunday, and you worship the risen Lord. You progressives who go worship at No King's Day tomorrow are going to worship yourselves. You have created an idol of your government, and you have created an idol of protest. At your protest, there will be hymns sung. In fact, I have seen now on the No King's Day website, they have hymns for you to sing. You can organize, you can get your liturgies prepared, and you can do the chants. They actually have chants. I wish I were making that up, but they actually do have chants. They have resources for hosts. And in the resources for hosts, for planning the event, I mean, this is like if you were doing a church startup. They've got essentially all the guides for you for your church startup. What you chant, what you say, how you get the crowd mobilized, how you get a crowd there, how you take action. Here we go. No King's Song and Chant Sheet. Prepared for by the Cairo Center for Religious Rights, for Religion's Rights and Social Justice. They have hymns. Let me read you this. I'm not making this up. Neighbor, neighbor, can't you see democracy is what we need? Oh, this power grab has got to go. Healthcare is a human right. That's why today we stand and fight. Oh, healthcare cuts have got to go. Neighbor, neighbor, can't you see Social Security's what we need? Oh, these billionaires have got to go. Education is a right. That's why today we stand and fight. That's why today we stand and fight. Oh, privatization's got to go. Wait, there's another one. And by the way, that they have stories behind the songs. Neighbor, neighbor, can't you see? This version of this song originated in 2014 when organizer Avery Book heard an adaptation of the military cadence, What the Army Has Done for Me, at a movement for Black Lives Action in Vermont. Minka Wiltz and the Economic Human Rights Choir of the New Freedom Bus Tour wrote Rich Man's House, a powerful song that was birthed by poor and homeless families of the Kensington Welfare Rights Union during the New Freedom Bus Tour in 1998. I went down to the Rich Man's House and I took back what he stole from me, took back my dignity, took back my humanity. And now it's under my feet. Where? Under my feet. Where? Under my feet. Where? Under my feet. Ain't gonna let no system walk over me. Literally, they have hymns for you to sing at the No Kings rally. It's a religious movement. I wanna contrast this for you. Let me find. Oh, they even have them in Spanish. They even have them in Spanish. So here we go. Up Over My Head is a song that comes out of the gospel tradition. It was popularized during the civil rights movement by the Student Nonviolent Coordinator Committee Freedom singer Betty Mae Fikes. Betty Mae Fikes was a founding member of the Freedom Singers who used song as an essential tool to empower and educate Americans. Up over my head, I see freedom in the air. Up over my head, I see freedom in the air. Up over my head, I see freedom in the air. And I really do believe, I really do believe a change is coming out there. Up over my head, I see justice. I see peace. I see power. I see hope. I see change. That's one of the lyrics. That's one of the lyrics. Now I want to compare and contrast that religious movement to another lyric from another song. Amazing grace, how sweet the sound that saved a wretch like me. I once was lost, but now am found, was blind, but now I see. 'Twas grace that taught my heart to fear, and grace my fears relieved. How precious did that grace appear the hour I first believed. Through many dangers, toils, and snares I have already come. 'Tis grace has brought me safe thus far, and grace will lead me home. The Lord has promised good to me, his word my hope secures. He will my shield and portion be as long as life endures. Yes, when this flesh and heart shall fail, and mortal life shall cease, I shall possess within the veil a life of joy and peace. The earth shall soon dissolve like snow, the sun forbear to shine, but God who called me here below will be forever mine. That contrasted with, what do we want right here today? Healthcare for our people. We'll march until we get our way. Healthcare for our people. What do we want? Healthcare. When do we want it? Now. Justice for our people. What we want is justice. Justice for our planet. What we want is justice. Protect the land and water. What we do, protect our future. Housing for all people. What we want, housing. Public education. What we want, education. Protect our democracy. What do we want? Protect democracy. I mean, pick your lyrics, people, but notice the difference. One is what God has done for me, and the other is what I'm going to do for myself and you. It's a religious cult. It is a self-affirming religious cult of people who are showing up tomorrow convinced that somehow by their act of protest, by joining with others around the United States in protest, they are somehow taking back their country. And what they won't actually be talking about are the issues people care about. They'll be there to make themselves overwhelmingly a lily-white group feel good about themselves, feel good and have a religious zeal that deprives them of a connection with God because their God has become government, and so they will be worshiping in town squares with other lily-white people demanding that the government change its ways when what actually happened is in November of 2024, Donald John Trump, President of the United States of America, won the popular vote. Won all but 427 counties in the United States of America and got reelected President of the United States. And these people have decided that the way to work around him is to stand in the streets singing stupid lyrics and affirming their smug self-righteousness against a majority of Americans who rejected them because for 4 years they didn't do jack when the Democrats lied to Americans about the president's condition, lied to Americans about the economy, and allowed a group of Nazi-like Hamas terrorists to kidnap a bunch of Jews. And then what did they do? Instead of standing up for the Jews, they blamed the Jews for what happened. These are the groups of people who will be taking to the streets tomorrow, high on their own supply, convinced of their righteousness smugly, engaged in religious zealotry. And what is their religious zealotry? To bring not a kingdom, not a heaven on earth, just power for themselves. Not much to get worked up about.
Follow Eric on X, Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, and Rumble. Search EW Erickson.
220 in the Cool Ray Carrier 24-hour traffic center. Traffic Trooper JB letting us know about a crash 85 northbound at Lawrenceville Swanee Road. Is it causing you some minor delays? No need for an alternate. Also got a crash 85 northbound at Central Avenue in Hapeville. That's exit 75, knocking out 2 left lanes and causing you some delays making your way north towards the downtown connector. This report is sponsored by Staples. Have you heard? The Staples Easy button is back with even more easy. Press it for custom prints, shipping services, even passport photos. Staples, that was easy. I'm Chinwe Maponya Cook, 95.5 WSB.
Get the WSB radio app.
This story is breaking right now.
Get notifications from your source for news.
If you have the WSB radio app, then you saw the breaking news.
Get the WSB radio app.
Don't miss a thing with the WSB app.
Download it from the App Store today.
Fall is a busy time, and selling your home can be overwhelming. Get a guaranteed cash offer from Mark Spain Real Estate and sell your home stress-free and for the most money. Hi, this is Mark Spain, and our guaranteed offer is the easiest way to sell your home. With the guaranteed offer from Mark Spain Real Estate, you can bypass the market, receive the strongest all-cash offer in the industry, and close in as little as 21 days. Our guaranteed offer keeps you in control. Go to markspain.com to get a guaranteed offer on your home today. That's markspain.com and start packing.
Hi, it's Sue from Bread Beckers with Sue's Healthy Minute. Over the past 30 years, we've seen countless lives change for the better and health issues greatly improved, if not completely resolved, by customers changing their diets, starting with real bread. At the Bread Becker store in Woodstock, we can teach you how to make real, delicious bread loaded with fiber and nutrients from real whole grains. A healthy, affordable solution for your family that can change your lives. For various customers, we've seen cholesterol levels drop 85 to 100 points in just 1 month, blood sugar stabilized, anemia corrected, and hundreds of stories of warts going away. In one case, as many as 500 warts gone in just 2.5 weeks. I have a degree in food science, and for more than 30 years, I've studied the incredible health benefits of whole grains and real bread. Let us help you take the first steps to better health. Visit breadbeckers.com or our Bread Beckers store in Woodstock.
More and more these days, people are in pain, are taking control of their health and looking beyond the traditional medicine. Hey, it's Mark here. That's why QC Kinetics is so successful. People with chronic joint pain are learning that there are other options besides steroids, meds, and surgery. Patients fighting pain are getting lasting relief using advanced cellular treatments. It's QC Kinetics regenerative medicine that can revitalize your joints using growth factors from your own body. And check it out, guys. It's a simple injection. No hospital stay. It's fast, all natural, and no downtime. I want you to call QC Kinetics and get a free consultation. Exercise your freedom to look beyond the same old solutions. Thousands of patients around the country finding a better life with QC Kinetics and their amazing regenerative treatments. Call now to get started. 770-285-8026. That's 770-285-8026. Appointments available on Saturdays. Lawrenceville, Sandy Springs, Marietta, Stockbridge, Decatur, and Douglasville.
At Kroger, you never compromise. You get high quality and low prices. Like you never compromise your meal with our spring salad mix that's guaranteed fresh. And you never compromise your budget with low prices in every aisle. Kroger shoppers never compromise. Kroger, fresh for everyone.
Right now, save big on all Halloween candy. You can save 33% with your digital coupon. Selection varies by store. Kroger, fresh for everyone.
If you're a home builder or a contractor, you know that downtime equals lost money. Dave Baker here. Randall Brothers has your back with the widest selection of building materials in the city, and Randall Brothers gets the right materials to the right place on time so you won't incur downtime. They are pros who can answer your questions and find the right fit for your needs. Randall Brothers, widest selection, industry expertise, accurate, no-hassle deliveries. RandallBrothers.com.
This is Jonathan Geller at D. Geller & Son Jewelers. Our fall bridal event is back. Whether you're shopping for an engagement, wedding, or celebrating an anniversary or milestone, D. Geller & Son's fall bridal event is the only place you'll have this many choices and get this much value. Up to $3,000 off when you make an appointment, or 36 months 0% APR financing. So come join us October 24th through 26th in Kennesaw and Sandy Springs. Make an appointment at dgeller.com.
Affordable jewelry for everyone is at D. Geller & Son.
95.5 WSB, Atlanta's News and Talk. Missed part of today's show? Catch it again in full with the Eric Erickson Show 24/7 live stream. Available at ericerickson.com. Stream enabled for Apple CarPlay and Android Auto.
Hello, welcome. It is Eric Erickson here. Glad to have you with me. Don't forget to text Eric, E-R-I-C-K, to 33777. You can follow along. On Monday, I was actually supposed to be off, but my guest hosts neither wound up being available, so I will be here on Monday, and I will be broadcasting live from a very exclusive golf course that you're not allowed entry to, which is going to be interesting to see how I play. I got invited to play golf at a very fancy private place, and it's early morning tee time, and then I get to do my show, and then I get to go play another round. Should be fun. We'll see. And then on Tuesday, I get to go do it all over again at an even more exclusive golf course. So we'll see how things work if I don't get hit in the head with another club. All right. When we come back, I actually want to shift gears a little more because we do need to dive into some foreign policy stuff. But first, there's new data about our economy. Did you know that the economy is not actually growing except one area of the economy? We now have the economic data out from Harvard, and you can say, oh, it's Harvard, they're lying, except this is actually the good economic study that everybody, including the government, relies on. I don't think they're cooking the books on this. This isn't Harvard, the administration shop. These are the economists who do this for everyone, and there is some really startling data that has just dropped on what's growing in the economy and what's not. We'll get into that. First, I need to tell you about Old Glory Bank because, you know, one of the big issues in the country right now are regional banks. Caused a big market loss the other day as regional bank loans are coming under question. Old Glory Bank happens to be my bank, and thankfully they were not involved in that. They have great business acumen, and they're really great with business clients. In fact, if you're a business looking for a bank, I recommend them to you. I've got a private personal checking and savings account with them, and you can too. I got a no-fee checking and no-fee savings account with them. Try not to sneeze. What you do is you go to oldglorybank.com/Eric, oldglorybank.com/ERICK. You sign up with Old Glory Bank today. If you're a veteran, if you're a first responder, if you're an active duty military, they have great discounts for you on their premium accounts. They got great interest rates. You can do mortgages, car loans. You can do CDs. You go to oldglorybank.com. oldglorybank.com /Eric, actually, so I get the credit for you going. Member FDIC, equal housing lender, terms and conditions apply. When we come back, we got to deal with China and Venezuela and also where the economy is actually growing versus where it's not.
In Atlanta, there is always something happening.
Tanker truck crashed into the median.
The Triple Team Traffic Center has you covered.
No traffic getting through in either direction.
Helping you on your commute.
Avoid the area at all costs. Take Highway 155 or Highway 4223.
Brought to you by the Cool Ray Lifetime Parts and Labor Warranty.
95.5 WSB, Atlanta's News and Talk. Live from the Superior Plumbing Studios.
News,
weather,
traffic,
95.5 WSB.
Atlanta's News and Talk.
At 2:30, I'm Bill Caiaccio with our top story. It's happening now. President Trump welcoming the president of Ukraine to the White House to discuss the ongoing effort to end the Russia-Ukraine war.
We'd like to see if we could finish it, end it. We want it ended. So many people have died in this war, and we're gonna get it ended.
It comes a day after the president had a phone call with Russian President Vladimir Putin. Trump says he's going to discuss that call with Zelensky. Clayton County police say a 6-month-old baby whose body was found this week died of blunt force trauma. The body was discarded in a trash bag. The new information comes as the parents of baby Nakai Pratt appear in a Clayton County courtroom today. Antonio Pierce is charged with malice murder. Nicolette Pratt is accused of helping to cover up the crime. Both are denied bond. 4 disaster-trained volunteers from the American Red Cross of Georgia are heading to Alaska to help the recovery efforts after a typhoon devastated several coastal villages there. Evacuees are being transported nearly 500 miles from their homes to Anchorage. The Red Cross is working with state, tribal, and local officials to help evacuees with shelter, food, emergency relief supplies, emotional support, and health services. As the government shutdown heads into another weekend, WSB travel expert Peter Greenberg warns anyone planning to fly should be prepared to wait.
Traveling through most of our airports, we're seeing an average delay right now of about 45 minutes.
And he says it's even worse during peak travel times. It is 2:32. This news sponsored by FGA Roofing. Up next, live team coverage of traffic and weather.
Here's a money-saving pro tip to keep your heating system running efficiently and avoid costly breakdowns. For just $29, you can schedule your fall checkup with TE Certified Electrical Plumbing, Heating, and Cooling. Chris Chandler here. Don't miss this exclusive new customer offer. Just $29 for a TE Certified fall checkup. Hurry, offer ends October 31st.
TE certified, we love your home.
Whether it's a slip that ends in a slip disc, a trick knee that's holding you back, or shoulder pain hurting your game, you can count on Northside Hospital Orthopedics. With leading care in Georgia at convenient locations all across the state, we are here to get you back on your feet, no matter what comes your way. Because Georgia moves us, and we keep Georgia moving. Find a provider near you at northside.com/ortho. That's northside.com/ORTHO.
Comcast Business can help turn your small business into a connected, secure, modern business. It's how retailers become constantly connecting must-visit shops. How restaurants become reliably up and running neighborhood favorites. How healthcare offices become the data-protecting caregivers that we all depend on. And how wealth management firms become cyber-securing guardians of your information. With reliable connectivity, enhanced cybersecurity, and Wi-Fi backup, your business can stay connected and get threat-ready with Comcast Business, powering possibilities.
Get started with our reliable business internet. Plus, stay connected when you add Wi-Fi backup for just $35 a month. And ask about a $400 prepaid card on a qualifying gig bundle. Call today. Restrictions apply. Wireless Connect requires business internet for additional monthly charge. Taxes and other fees extra. Prepaid card offer ends 11/16/25.
It's happening, guys. Your hair's thinning, the crown's disappearing. Hair loss might have you feeling you've lost your identity. It's Mark Arum here. Thankfully, there's Advanced Hair Simple One-Day Treatment. You decide how much, how thick, and where. It's your own natural hair that begins regrowing the very next day, and it's guaranteed to grow for life. I've seen Advanced Hair's incredible results with my own eyes. Get your free consultation, $250 off, and 250 free hair grafts. Call 470-660-HAIR or advancedhair.com.
At 2:34, Chinwe Maponya Cook is live in the 24-hour traffic center.
Good afternoon. Right now, we're checking for a crash. I-85 northbound right at Lawrenceville Swanee Road. A traffic trooper, JB, alerted us to this, and we found it. It is sitting in the left lane, not the express lane, but the far left lane. So you want to stay to the right if you're in the area. Also, another problem on I-85, also northbound, this time at Central Avenue in Hapeville. That's exit 75. We are seeing a crash knocking out the left lane there as well, and delays are stretching back into Camp Creek Parkway and College Park. I'm Chinwe Maponya Cook, 95.5 WSB.
I'm WSB meteorologist Christina Epworth. Partly cloudy skies today with a high near 80. Lows tonight in the upper 50s to low 60s.
And right now it's 79 in Tucker, 80 in East Point, 80 in Cartersville. More news at 3 o'clock. Breaking news when it happens. I'm Bill Caiaccio, 95.5 WSB.
Eric Erickson Show, cutting through the chaos with relatable, unpredictable conservative commentary.
Hello there. Welcome. It is Eric Erickson here. The phone number is 877-973-7425. If you want to be on the program, I need to give you an amazing stat Philip sent along during the commercial break that just blew my mind, and I had to go look at it myself, and it is for real. I have told you that if you take out the top 10 companies of the S&P 500, the stock market has actually been pretty stagnant. You take out the FANGs, you take out, well, now it's harder because Facebook has changed to Meta, but take out Facebook, take out Apple, take out Amazon, take out Netflix, take out NVIDIA, take out Google, really take out Microsoft, take out AMD. The economy has not actually been doing great. I should say the stock market hasn't been doing great. But now we have new economic data from Harvard. Without data centers, GDP growth was 0.1% in the first half of 2025. Without data centers, GDP growth was 0.1% in the first half of 2025. That's according to Harvard. That's not good. And it underlies some of the economic weakness that we have in the United States, particularly now as beef prices have skyrocketed. And there are a number of reasons for beef prices skyrocketing. Beef prices have skyrocketed because of droughts. Beef prices have skyrocketed because of an illness that got into some cattle herds. Beef prices have skyrocketed because of some monopolistic practices by slaughterhouses that have raised prices that get passed on to consumers. Beef prices have also risen because of a 75% tariff increase in imports from Brazil and other countries. Beef prices, domestically produced beef, has gone up in price in part because imported beef has gone up even more because of tariffs. So domestic beef prices could go up in price. But also there have been other issues as well, disease, drought, things like that. But beef prices have gone up. Grocery prices have gone up. Gas prices have come down. In fact, the New York Times is lamenting that the shutdown is not affecting fossil fuel companies. This is from the New York Times. More than 700,000 federal employees have been sidelined, and thousands more are at risk of being fired as the government shutdown drags on. But the workers responsible for carrying out the president's plans for more fossil fuels and less wind and solar power are hard at work. Some are approving permits for companies that want to extract metals, coal, oil, and gas from public lands and federal waters. Others are rolling back limits on the greenhouse gas emissions that are driving climate change. On Thursday, the Bureau of Land Management approved the expansion of a copper mine on public land in Utah. Earlier this week, the Interior Department prepared to open more than 250,000 acres of land in Wyoming and Nebraska to oil drilling and held a coal lease sale for access to Montana's Powder River Basin. And at the Environmental Protection Agency, employees are finalizing a plan to allow more mercury emissions from coal plants, according to two people familiar with the work underway. Cheryl Taylor, a spokeswoman for the Interior Department, said the agency was doing what was necessary in light of President Trump's declaration in January of a national energy emergency. Quote, work related to permitting, leasing, and other essential energy operations is continuing as accepted work to help strengthen the nation's energy security, maintain reliable supplies, and protect American consumers from disruptions. The environmentalists really don't like it. But we have an underlying weakness in the economy. That underlying weakness is that, but for data centers, the economy is kind of stagnant. We are kind of in a bubble. Y'all know I'm not an economic expert. I do know how to talk to economic experts. I would actually probably like to get Andrew Ross Sorkin on the show. I know he's a lib. He's a morning anchor on CNBC, but he's written a book on 1929, and he's been sounding this alarm even before Trump got in office that the economy is looking more and more like it did in the lead up to the great stock market crash in 1929, in large part because there's only one segment of the economy growing. It's so robustly growing that it overshadows the stagnation of everything else. And in the process, the way a lot of people on Wall Street and financiers are making money is in things like crypto and other currency devices and manipulations of currency and getting people to invest in risky things. Look at the private equity companies that are trying to get you to invest your 401k in crypto and in odd bank loans and things like that. There are all sorts of red flags that our economy right now is not doing as well as it should be, and yet because of one small sector of the economy, there's an overshadowing of the weakness. I can understand why Warren Buffett is hoarding so much cash and living off the interest of the cash. He's got no desire to make big investments. You know, I keep on my screen up here. I don't keep MSNBC on the screen because I think if I were to be exposed even to the visuals of MSNBC as the days wore on, it would be like an accumulation of lead in my body. I would be like 30 feet over a runway after a couple weeks, drooling on radio. But on my screen, I keep on ESPN, CNN, Fox News, and CNBC. And on CNBC, there was an ad for a book on options trading and how you can't really be a legitimate investor if you're not trading in options, because options are now the way to make money. You know, options pretty risky. I don't trade in options. I look, I'm not a finance guy to begin with, but I don't trade in options. I do buy individual stocks. I've been rereading Ben Graham's old book. Oh, now what the conscience of, what is it called now? Suddenly I've gone completely blank on Ben Graham. If you ever want to learn about buying stocks, it is probably the best book to read, The Intelligent Investor by Ben Graham. Warren Buffett and Charlie Munger have both said it is the best book, and it's been a while since I've really read a book, and I've sat down with the latest edition to read it. And one of the things he says is you got to separate between what a speculator is and what an investor is. And one of the things he says is that investors typically do not engage in options individually, and that there, as you get into periods of speculation, there become all of these novel strategies to invest, and people start hawking their books about novel strategies. And I'm sitting here watching CNBC a little while ago, and there's a book out. And it's about how you've got to, if you want to make money in the market, you got to invest in options. Like, no, the hell you don't. It's just really weird to see this coming full circle like this. And it's frankly a little bit alarming to me that we're seeing the stock market treated as a casino again. And that tended to happen in the run-up to great stock market crashes. Is people forgot about long-term investing, and they convinced themselves they were investors when really they were just speculating. They were gambling in the stock market. Look, I got enough concerns about sports betting right now and the number of people who think they're going to make money betting against the house in sports betting. It's a very dangerous phenomenon, I think. In fact, you know, I'm a small government guy, but I am increasingly of the mindset that broadcast television and the like are already regulated, as is casinos and gambling. And I'm really a little bit alarmed when I have ESPN on now that half the programming at ESPN is on the betting odds for the games. Nobody's watching the games anymore for betting or for enjoying the game. They're watching because they place bets. And you talk to athletes now. This is one of the ones that intrigues me. If you talk to athletes now, increasingly, athletes all have stories about how they are getting harassed by fans because of their parlay bets. That they didn't do this one thing that the fan insisted they needed to do, and the result is the fans got mad. And the fans are harassing the players. We're living in wild times, folks. People are treating the stock market as entertainment, and they're treating sports as a way to make income. That's not a stable, healthy environment. And take the cultural stuff out of this. That's just not a healthy cultural environment when that sort of stuff is beginning to happen in society. And so many young men in particular are falling victim to sports betting. I have a friend, and look, man, I don't want to offend you if you're listening because I know you sometimes listen, but you yourself were telling me about allowing your 15-year-old to use your sports betting app to place bets. It's a dangerous habit to get your kids into, placing sports bets. And increasingly now, people are placing bets in the middle of games, and in some cases, their video feed is behind the actual game, and they could be losing money. And here on Wall Street, the stock market is roaring ahead, but it's really only 10 stocks that are overshadowing everything else. And it turns out when you take out the growth of data centers in the country, the economy has grown at 0.1% for the first half of the year. Republicans, this is what worries me about next year. You are blessed that your progressive Democratic opponents are dumber than dirt. Because tomorrow they will be screaming about having no kings and how democracy is under attack. And they will not spend much time on groceries. They will not spend much time on inflation. They will not spend much time on the underlying weakness of the economy. In fact, Charlemagne the God, the radio show host, had on Eric Swalwell, little Eric Swalwell. I don't need to play you Eric Swalwell's response, but this is from Charlemagne, noted, very popular in the black community, nationally renowned radio show, talk show host. Just listen to this.
Why should we ever trust the Democratic Party after they lied to us so long about President Biden? And I'm big on this because I just read the original Senate. I'm just like, I don't see. I think that Democrats have tried every strategy except for two things: honesty and courage.
Yeah. Honesty, courage. Why should we believe the Democrats after what they did? And yes, so what are the Democrats going to do tomorrow? They're going to go out and protest. No King's Day. You got a bunch of billionaire Democrats who are out of touch with America, getting people to go stand in the streets tomorrow to denounce Donald Trump for fascism in America, without any word about grocery prices, the weakness in the economy, the stock market being in a bubble. This gives the GOP a real opening here to play it smart and to take on more economic issues. Now, yes, I'm biased. I think tariffs are part of the problem, and I wish the president would change it. But if they're not going to, they've got other options to stimulate economic growth. And the Federal Reserve, of course, is out now suggesting there are going to be 2 more interest rate cuts this year, which in and of itself would be a good thing. Why? Because it would provide greater stimulation to an economy that actually looks profoundly weaker than it appears to the public. By the way, there's breaking news as I'm sitting here talking. Russ Vought from the White House has just announced the Army Corps of Engineers is going to pause $11 billion in projects. The Democrat shutdown has drained the Army Corps of Engineers' ability to manage billions of dollars in projects, according to Russ, who just announced it on Twitter. The lower priority projects to be paused are in New York, San Francisco, Boston, and Baltimore. In other words, in Chuck Schumer's territory, Nancy Pelosi's territory, Elizabeth Warren's territory, and Washington, D.C.'s backyard in Baltimore. Russ Vought, this is happening right now, just announcing that the Army Corps of Engineers is going to pause $11 billion in projects due to the shutdown, all of them in Democratic congressional districts.
You're at the intersection of politics, news, culture, and current events. It's the Erick Erickson Show.
249 in the Coolray Carrier 24-hour traffic center. Better news in Swanee. That crash has cleared. 85 northbound at Lawrenceville Swanee Road. Delays improving there. Still an active crash, though. 85 southbound at Central Avenue. Exit 75 knocking out a couple of left lanes as you make your way north into the East Point. This report is sponsored by Staples. Have you heard? The Staples Easy button is back with even more easy. Press it for custom prints, shipping services, even passport photos. Staples, that was easy. I'm Chinwe Maponya Cook, 95.5 WSB.
If it's happening on the streets of Atlanta.
The Cobb County Medical Examiner's Office identifies 57 sets of cremains.
If it's happening on the roads leading to Atlanta.
Massive project at 285 and Georgia 400 has been a big improvement.
We've got it covered.
Atlanta jurors convict a former Customs and Border Protection officer.
Your 24/7 news source.
Covering the stories that impact you.
Tune in throughout the day to stay up to date.
95.5 WSB, Atlanta's breaking news station.
I'm here with Chris Hoffman, the founder of Hoffman Financial Group and host of Money Unleashed. Chris, every week on the show, we offer folks something we call the Portfolio X-Ray. I was hoping you could walk us through that process and tell us why the information it uncovers is so powerful.
Yeah, so the reason we love doing the Portfolio X-Ray for you is we do that behind the scenes. Everybody's extremely busy. Nobody wants to waste time in traffic. If you call in, we will ask you for some information via the phone. Once you've given us that information, we go to work and we put all the hours in developing the report. And I commit this to you. The Portfolio X-Ray is eye-opening. At least 90+% of the time, we can find 2 or 3 golden nuggets in there that you were not aware of that we can either change in your current portfolio mix for you. It's called a 401k optimizer. Or if we manage the assets for you, we certainly can recommend how to diversify away from some of the troubling points that are exposed during the Portfolio X-ray. Once we've got that, then we'll have you in for your initial consultation. We will present the Portfolio X-ray to you and walk you through the high points of it. And that's a document that you get to take with you. It's like getting a financial physical. So how many of you avoided going to the doctor for the annual physical last year? You do the same thing with your financial life. You ignore it. You keep pumping money into your 401k. You hope that it's going well, and I can tell you that hope is not a good investment or financial planning strategy. You need to know. So if you want to know, call us.
The Portfolio X-Ray is complimentary. Give Hoffman Financial Group a call to schedule yours today. 404-737-3858, 404-737-3858, or online at unleashyourmoney.com. Investment advisory services offered through Brookstone Wealth Advisors, a registered investment advisor. Insurance and annuities offered through Hoffman Financial Group Incorporated, Georgia Insurance License number 163546.
WSB Atlanta, WSB BFM, and HD1 Doraville. 95.5 WSB, Atlanta's news and talk.
I'm Ed Evans, CEO of Consumer Cellular. Ever wonder why Big Wireless wants you on an unlimited plan? They probably want you to cover the cost of those 20-somethings using all that data every month. But most people 50 and up like me only use 12 gigs or less. Don't get bamboozled by Big Wireless. Switch to Consumer Cellular. Our plans start at just $20, and we use the same towers as the big guys. Join the millions who choose something better, because if you're not using all that data, you're probably getting used.
Call 1-888-FREEDOM or visit consumercellular.com/facts. Plans include $5 credit for auto pay and e-billing. See site for additional facts.
Basketball is back, football season is heating up, and Prize Picks is making this sports season even more fun. So don't miss any of the action this season with Prize Picks, where it's good to be right. Download the Prize Picks app today, use the code ROAM, and get a $50 bonus credit instantly in lineups when you play $5. That's code ROAM on Prize Picks to get a $50 bonus credit instantly in lineups when you play $5. Win or lose, you'll get the $50 bonus credit in lineups just for playing. It's guaranteed. Prize Picks, it's good to be right. You do have to be present in certain states. Visit prizepicks.com for restrictions and details.
All the news, weather, and traffic you need. 95.5 WSB.
Text Eric to 33777 and get the 4 Things You Need to Know podcast. Eric tells you the 4 things to pay attention to after the show. Also available on YouTube and your favorite podcast app.
All right. Looks like my wife is getting admitted. CPK levels are very high. Strenuous exercise at the gym the other day, I guess. We'll figure it out. Prayers appreciated. Here's your weird, wild breaking news of the day. The British royal family announcing that Prince Andrew giving up all royal titles moving forward. He does not wish to be a distraction. this sounds rather forced by the king. So yeah, all right. There's I know some of you really are focus on it. The president also, I'm glad we cut off the press conference when we did, Kobe, because he started dropping F-bombs, talking about Maduro in his FAFO mode, that he wants to F with the United States, and he's about to find out what comes from that. All righty. We will see. Here at the end of the program, I want to go back to something from the other day. I wrote about it this morning. There is this growing idea that there should be no enemies on the right. That you may disagree with someone on the right, but you should deal with the person privately. You should not publicly disagree with them, because that's what the left does. The left refuses to have any enemies to the left. Doesn't matter how outrageous you are on the left. If you're on the left, everybody on the left stands together, and we on the right should do the same thing. Now, what I find notable about that is that these are the people essentially saying, if we got racists on our side, so what? The left has them on their side. If we got Nazis on our side, the left's got them on their side. They got the communists. Got anti-Semites on our side? Well, they got anti-Semites. I don't care. No enemies to the right of me. Doesn't no matter how vile they are. If they are in my coalition, I will say nothing. And these are the exact same people who are fine with the racists and the Nazis and the anti-Semites and even the abortion advocates these days, who also tell the cucks, the rhinos, the globalists, the establishment hacks they need to get out of the party. Is that not ironic that there are no enemies to the right of me, but if you're a cuck, an establishment hack, a globalist, or a rhino, get out of the party? It doesn't really seem to align as well as they seem to think or believe, does it? Personally, I want nothing to do in my party with neo-Nazis and anti-Semites and abortion advocates, so I'll pass on the whole no enemies to the right of me stuff, because there are enemies there. Now, I got to tell you about Americans for Prosperity, because they're advancing common sense conservative reforms around the country. If you go to AFPvolunteer.com today, you can sign up with AFP and be a part of it. What does AFP do? Well, AFP around the country organizes conservatives to advance common sense conservative public policy. Those common sense conservative public policies range from things like school choice, to regulatory reform, to tax cuts, to helping small businesses, to helping families. They work at the local level, the state level, and the federal level. They knock on doors and they mobilize voters, and they would love to have you as well. If you go to AFPvolunteer.com today, you can sign up and be a part of it. Here in Georgia, where I am, there's a Public Service Commission election in November, and Republicans don't look like they're turning out. They're going to hand 2 seats over to communists if they don't show up. And AFP is helping mobilize people and remind people that the election is important. They're helping people understand the public policy at stake. They'd love to have you on their side. AFPvolunteer.com. Sign up today and have a great weekend.
Coming up on the Monday edition of Atlanta's Morning News from 5 to 9, Christina Edwards' 5-day forecast includes much more fall-like weather to start the week. You can depend on traffic updates with more post-fall break commuters on the roads, and Clark Howard's advice for those of us with aging parents on WSB.
WSB consumer expert Clark Howard.
Something from the city of Atlanta is spreading like a plague all around Metro Atlanta. It's booting, and it's just the worst thing for you to go to dinner somewhere or go to an event and come back and find those ugly boots on your car. The problem, the rules have been all over the place. So now there's a new state law that doesn't solve the problem of booting across Metro Atlanta, but it does require when you park on private property to have a posted sign, clear notice telling you who the booting company is, who owns the property where you parked, how to get the device removed, and most important, what you're going to have to pay. Best rule of thumb, don't ever park on private property thinking you're going to be just fine leaving your car there.
I'm Clark Howard.
news, weather,
traffic. 95.5 WSB, Atlanta's news and talk.
At 3 o'clock, I'm Bill Caiaccio with our top story. It's happening now at the White House.
CBS News special report. President Trump and Ukraine's leader, Volodymyr Zelensky, are meeting at the White House. Correspondent Natalie Brand.
President Trump welcomed Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky to the White House as he pushes the administration for more advanced weapons. That includes long-range Tomahawk missiles, which Russia says would be a major escalation.
We're going to be talking about that. That's why we're here.
I'm confident that with your help, we can stop this war.
Trump says Zelensky's request for Tomahawks is a big ask.
It's not easy for us to give. You're talking about massive numbers of very powerful weapons. So that's one of the things we'll be talking about. Hopefully they won't need it.